Good morning, Raptor Freak. Lexi Yachts here, and it's Monday morning, and we're doing a Monday memory, and we're remembering a Raptor that passed away last year, Eric Montross. Eric Montross is his birthday today. He would have turned 53 today if he was still alive, but he died of cancer last December after getting diagnosed with cancer last March. He passed away right around Christmas, New Year's last year. Now, Eric Montross was a Raptor during the Vince era, and he was a very good friend of Vince Carter because he played on the UNC Tar Heels with him. So, Eric was a good player. I remember him very well. He was playing for the team when I was working at the arena, and he didn't start, but he was the backup big man, and he'd come out and he was good for rebounds. He wasn't a bad defender, but he didn't score a lot. I remember him being very tough and gritty and kind of very physical. And that was the cool thing. He was just kind of like one of those big guys that just kind of does physical things for a basketball team that's necessary. Now, his college career was very, very good. When he played for UNC, he was a very dominant kind of center in the college game. So, and he had a very interesting career. He played for quite a few teams, guys. He started out with the Celtics. He was drafted by the Celtics ninth in the 94 draft. So, he's been in the league longer than the Raptors was in the league before the Raptors started. And he came to us later in his career. Dallas, he played for Dallas for a little bit, and then he played for New Jersey slightly, Philadelphia for just a second too, then the Pistons, and then he ended up with us, and he finished his career here in Toronto with us. So, he was on the team from 2001 to 2002, which is Vince Carter era. So, it's pretty cool. He was 00. And as I said, he was a friend of Vince Carter's because they were actually, I think they were college teammates right around the same time and at UNC. So he's a Tar Heel. In fact, after his career was over in the NBA, he went to work for the Tar Heels as a color commentator on their broadcasts. And he was on there doing a lot of play-by-play. For 18 years, he did play-by-play for the UNC Tar Heels in their basketball games. So, he also was involved in different charities, including the North Carolina Children's Hospital, Pan American Health Organization. He founded a Vaccine Ambassadors, which aim to distribute vaccines all over the world, especially to developing countries. Yeah, he's also been on the board of Be Loud, Sophie Foundation, an organization supporting care for young cancer patients at UNC. So yeah, he like we said, his family found out that he had cancer around March of 2023, and then he died last year on December the 17th. It's really unfortunate. I'm not totally sure what type of cancer he had or whatnot. But yeah, he played 2 seasons for the Raptors. He played in 61 regular season games, and he played for us 5 times in the playoffs. He played 5 playoff games for the Raptors also. So yeah, he's not a totally unknown Raptor. He's somebody that actually did minutes for us and did play as a role player while he was on our team. He was a guy who was near the end of the bench, but he was definitely somebody that contributed and somebody to be remembered. He's just a good guy in a lot of ways. Soft spoken, not really a boisterous kind of braggadocio kind of person. And he was actually a pretty good commentator, very straight to the point and just kind of being very informative and stuff. And I'm sure he had all kinds of great stories from his playing days at UNC and in the NBA. But yeah, today we'd like to remember and honor Eric Montross, former Raptor, on his birthday today. He would have been 53 today if he had not passed last year. So yeah, a little moment of silence for Eric Montross right now, guys, if you don't mind. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. All right, let's get on to more stuff on the Raptor Freak stream. I just wanted to honor and remember Eric today since it's his birthday, and also because I didn't really cover it fully when it happened around December. We were busy in the middle of the season, And in some ways, I wanted to give it its just due as far as a stream topic for today. So that's why we're doing the Monday memory for Eric right now. All right, Trevor J's here first in the chat. He's saying, "Good morning, family. Titles and positions do not give you permission to mistreat people. You may be in charge, but God is still in control." I like that. I like that a lot, Trevor. There's a lot of people that are in charge of big corporations, politicians that are in charge, and they're mistreating people right now. And honestly, in the end, hopefully the Almighty up above is keeping score. And hopefully, this kind of thing. Listen, sometimes it doesn't work out in a way that seems like it's justice, but we never know on the inside the things that people deal with. And if they're morally decayed because they are just so greedy and they're only looking out for themselves and going for stuff, well, I would say this: Elon Musk, you may be almost a trillionaire, but you probably have a lot of people that you should love and be close to that hate you, and that's your children. That's a lot of people that are close to you. I mean, what is the sacrifice? To be a dick and to get $1 trillion and to be, oh, I'm so rich, and be arrogant and all that stuff, when you drive the people that should love you the most away from you in your life. That's what I'm saying. What is the price that some of these people pay to sell their soul to the devil for the almighty dollar? Yeah, some of them lose their family. So yeah, that's how it is. So thank you, Trevor, for coming in and talking. And well, guys, I went ahead and opened the box. I told Trevor I wouldn't, but I went ahead and opened the box. Guys, this is the beautiful WNBA trophy that we're sending to Meredith in Ottawa for his fantasy championship, for winning the undefeated season in the WNBA Fantasy League. This is going to be shipped to Ottawa today. I'm going to go to the post office in just a little while, and you can kind of see the WNBA symbol on it in the middle. And it's beautiful. It's glass. It's very heavy. And this is going to be our championship trophy for the Fantasy League this year. And this is what's going to Meredith. MK, you're getting this in the mail. Go along with your championship from last year, along with your ring from last year also. So, yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful trophy, Trevor. And I appreciate the Commissioner of Fun commissioning this trophy to go to our fantasy champion. So, Meredith, this is going to be coming in the mail to you. So be looking out for it this week. Coming in the mail towards you. This is our WNBA championship trophy for the fantasy league. I can't really see the thing there. You can kind of see it there. The on there. It's not exactly the WNBA symbol, but it's pretty close, and it's quite cool. Very cool trophy, Trevor. So I'll put it up here for right now. Y'all can see it behind me. And yeah, that's what's going to Meredith in Ottawa for winning our championship. Mo's saying, "Good morning, Raptor Free crew." If people don't remember, Eric Montross, he was around the Bosch era. No, he wasn't. Bosch era is too late. He was on the Vince era. He was in 2000, 2001. And I was at the arena then. Great guy, said story. I don't know what that means. Sad story is what you mean. I think that's what you meant. Scotty's ex-girlfriend spoke. Yes. All right, let's talk about this. This is the topic du jour of the last day or so, is that Scotty's ex has spoken out. I've never heard of this girl before, but I'm not disputing that she's not Scotty's girlfriend. It's just that he, obviously has kept his life very private as far as his relationships. And to find out all of a sudden that he had a 6-year high school sweetheart girlfriend is a shock to me, because in some ways there were no apparent obvious things going on in his life on Twitch and around his play that she was involved with him. Now, I'm not disputing that they're close and that they were together. But in some ways, I want to say this right now, because a lot of people are having opinions about what Scott has done in his personal life. First of all, the first disclaimer is it's his personal life. It's none of our business. And all the Raptors fans that are judging Scotty for his decisions, judging him for choosing which woman he chose, y'all shut the fuck up. It's Scott's life, and he's allowed to do what he wants to do. In some ways, I would say this. Yes, men do weird, shitty things to women all the time, but women do weird, shitty things to men all the time, too. It goes both ways. And listen, Scotty's the person in power here. He's the NBA All-Star. He's the one with the $500 million contract. He's the one who's driving his life. And, Nari, who's his ex-girlfriend, if she wants to put it on blast that he broke up with her and then got a white girl pregnant, that's fine. That's her right. But in some ways, it doesn't serve her. It really doesn't serve her any good. It's basically like some people said in the comments, you're broadcasting your L. And in some ways, you should have just kind of kept quiet about it. There's a lot of fans that are mad at Scotty about this. And look, all right, I understand there's a racial component to this whole story. In some ways, it shouldn't be because it doesn't matter the color of the girl that Scotty got pregnant. Honestly, if it was an Asian girl, a black girl, a Hispanic girl, a white girl, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And some people are factoring that in. And in some ways, there's racism in that. There is racism in that. Now, I get it. In some ways, black women are sick of successful black men ditching them for white women. This has been the case in a lot of different places, OJ Simpson. There's a lot of people that athletes that have dated white women. But everybody has their own likes and choices in life. And in some ways, yeah, sure. I will never understand what it's like to be a black woman and to be dissed like in this way, honestly. But I've been dissed in my life. I've had people cheat on me. I've had this kind of stuff. So I know how that feels besides that. But I can get it where black women would be like, this is just another guy selling out, another black guy selling out for a white woman. And I get it. I get why people are frustrated by this. Also, the age factor. Oh my gosh, this is the other place we're seeing really out of pocket stuff. Ageists. We've seen racists and ageists on this. Basically, some people are racist against him picking a white woman, and they're also ageist against him picking a 30-year-old white woman. And honestly, some of the comments are disgusting. And Scotty, I'm gonna say this right now. Anybody who's talking bad about your decisions, they're not your fans. They're judgmental little shits. And once again, I'm gonna say this also. Everybody has their own life and they make their own choices with their relationships. And it's none of anybody else's business. In some ways, people inform their decisions about judging other people for their relationships on religion and all this other crap that they want to believe for themselves. That's fine. Believe it for yourself. But your shit does not apply to everybody else in the world. And that's part of the problem with religious people is they're constantly going around trying to tell everybody how to live their personal lives. So listen, Scotty is Scotty. Scotty has just signed a huge contract. Scotty is doing what he's doing in his life. And we don't know anything about the relationships between both those women and Scott. It could very well be that Scotty had been with Nari for 6 years and she had been nagging the hell out of him and he'd been kind of sick of her. It could be there's all kinds of stuff we could speculate. We could be that this new woman is very caring and understanding and mature in certain ways that allows Scotty to do what he wants to do in his life. It could be that Nari is very possessive of Scott. And Scott is in a new level of his life where he should have freedom to do what he wants. And it could very well be that the new woman is like, yeah, Scott, you be who you want to be. I don't care. Once again, if you're moralistic about this and what I just said, well, get over yourself because it's Scotty Barnes. It's his life. And I will say this also, that Scotty Barnes is probably one of the lower cases of really bad cheating or any of this kind of stuff in the NBA. Let's not get it twisted. Some of these other players around the NBA and other sports in the NFL and other MLB, NHL, these guys are going crazy and doing whatever the fuck they want. And Magic Johnson at Showtime is very indicative of this. So let's not get it twisted. It could very well be that Scotty is not out there just throwing it around to every lady out there. And maybe this is just a very innocent, casual thing that just happened. It could very well be that Nari, I'm going to say this because I went and looked at her TikTok. I inspected both the TikToks of both the women. Is kind of a very materialistic, kind of possessive person. I'm going to say that. Watching her TikToks made me think, okay, this woman is not good for Scotty because she's controlling, because she's immature in certain ways as far as, and you know what? Maybe she's so bitter and pissed off because she just seen this huge millions of dollars person that she's linked to take off on her. Now, it sounds like Scotty did this shit in the right order. He broke up with her, but then miraculously, all of a sudden, now he's got another woman pregnant. Well, I commend maybe Nari for being smart and using sex protection with him and not getting pregnant herself already. I mean, you were with him for 6 years. You might have gotten pregnant at some point with his baby at some point, but you didn't. And I don't know why that choice was made. Maybe he wanted a baby and you didn't. You're like, no, I'm in masters. I'm worried about this. Listen, there's all kinds of reasons why this could be happening. I do not know. I cannot give you the answers about why Scotty chose what he chose to do this summer. That's life, and it's none of my fucking business. And honestly, once again, I'm going to stand with my guy. My guy is my dude. He's our franchise face. That's my guy, Scotty Barnes. And I ain't turning on him over this kind of shit. No. Raptors fans that are pissed at him or like getting all bent out of shape about this shit, maybe you're in your own feelings about your own life, and that's why you're pissed off at Scotty. Listen, he has his rights to do what the fuck he wants. because he is his own man. And listen, you may not agree with what his decisions are, but that is his life, and he gets his life to choose his own decisions. Y'all want to be judgmental about him? Okay, you go ahead. That's your right also. But not me, because I know that the Raptor streak with my lines is about basketball. But yes, I cover the Raptors. And when Raptors news comes out and there's stuff like this, yeah, we'll talk about it. That may be the difference between me and TSN and Sportsnet, that they ain't going to broadcast this or talk about this. But I want to talk about it in a fair way. Look, I understand Nari is upset. She's bitter. I get that. You spent 6 years with him, but you were obviously expecting some things in a certain kind of way. Now, I don't know if Scotty promised you anything. I have no idea, because I have no idea what your private life is like. I don't know what was going on. Maybe y'all were been on the rocks for a couple years and you're just going through the motions. Who knows what it is? It's none of our business. But I will stand with my guy, the franchise face of this team, number 4. Yeah, I'll stand with him, because this one, I'm loyal to the Raptors. I'm sorry. And he makes his own choices. I would say this. I don't think he's going to marry this girl. I don't think, and everybody's saying it's an L. Scotty took an L. Nah, you guys are stupid. You don't understand. You're going to say that this woman from Guelph is just an average white woman you can find anywhere. No, that's not true. That is not true. This woman's special, and I can tell. The only reason why y'all think this is because you're looking at her age and you think she's a grandma at 32. Oh, my God, y'all are so stupid. When you get to 30, you're going to find out, youngsters. You're going to find out real quick that 30 is not old at all. And honestly, that's prime time to have a baby. Honestly, if you're too young, you're too immature, you're not going to fucking take care of that kid, right? So in some ways, maybe Scotty's looking at the 2 different women and saying, who's going to take care of my child better in a nurturing, caring way? Who's going to be more involved with the baby on a day-to-day basis, really taking care of it and making sure that baby's strong, healthy, and happy? Who's going to be doing that more between the 2 of them? The other girl seemed like she's immature. She's worried about her master's degree, and she's doing TikToks that are all bougie and kind of like, I'm this and this, with like her designer clothes and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I see like awesome TikToks on the other ladies with the dogs and like just very family kind of environment kind of stuff. And this isn't about race. This is about TikTok content and what their faces are showing. You go ahead and tell me, between the 2 TikToks, between those women, which one seems like a suitable partner and a mother for a child, is what I'm going to say right now. And that's all I got to say on that. Listen, Nari, I feel bad for you, but you didn't need to broadcast your L. That's on you. And in some ways, look, you wanted to get attention, or you wanted people to know, well, maybe you will find a new boyfriend. Because honestly, a lot of the guys are saying, man, she's hot. I love her. And well, maybe you are on your way to find the next person by crying out your L. But seriously, this isn't a distraction at all. This isn't even going to be a problem. This is just a little go on and let's get to the season. And Scotty's going to go do what he does in some ways. And you know what? I'm going to be so happy for him when the baby comes, because I want to see how it changes his life. I want to see how it changes his game. And in some ways, you know, look, everybody that's young, that's judging him on this for whatever reason, whether you're a racist or you're ageist, you go ahead and keep judging in that way. You go ahead and keep judging that way. Some people are calling this woman a groomer. And I'm like, what? You're calling the 30-year-old white woman a groomer? What the fuck is that? Seriously. No, Scotty can go be with whoever he wants. Scotty's smart enough to understand. Nobody is trying to tell Scotty what he wants to do. Seriously. In some ways, he's been very adamant on Twitch that I do what I want. And in some ways, y'all don't tell me what to fucking do. He's told us that in the chat. He said some people in the chat are saying, hey, Scotty, put your hand up and say, ha, 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 ha. Or, hey, Scotty, say good birthday to my friend, or say this or say that. And he says, no, y'all, what do you fucking think I am? Just a trained monkey or something to do something for you? No, I do what I want. And I'm not doing that, fam. I'm sorry. So why would anybody think that this woman has the control or power to mind meld him and control him in a grooming kind of way? Oh, I'm grooming him because I just want his money. See, that may be part of it also. That, you know, Scotty may be very, very sensitive and aware of people that are clout chasing or just after that bag. And in some ways, I'm telling you right now, the woman he got pregnant, I don't think she needs Scott's money, because from her TikTok, it looks like she's already doing fine. And in some ways also, it could very well be that Scott understands that this woman is not trying to be a financial drain on me in different ways. So who knows? We don't know, because it's their private lives and we have no fucking idea what the real relationships between these women and Scott are like. So I don't know. It could be also, you know, Scotty is being more exposed to a lot of people. And this was always a danger for his high school sweetheart girlfriend. It's always been a danger. I'm sure In some ways, look, that's part of it right there. It's tough to hold on to a very, very famous person if they're out there meeting new people and there's new people coming at them and they're like, yeah, I've always loved you. You're amazing. Oh my gosh, I'm talking to Holly Berry. And all of a sudden, Scotty's dating Holly Berry. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? People trying to control Scott and his romantic lifestyle. I will never, ever judge you, Scotty, for things in your private life unless you do a Karl Malone. And otherwise, I won't. I will say you do your thing and you live your life. And to me, it doesn't matter what the race of the woman that's pregnant with Scotty's baby is. It really doesn't matter because I'm not looking at it from that perspective. I'm looking at it from a healthy perspective and who's going to be good for our young guy. That's what I'm looking at. And in some ways, the bitterness, in some ways, the way she's coming out like this shows that she never actually ever loved Scotty because she's trying to hurt him now on the way out. I was very open yesterday and said I broke up with Adriana yesterday, but I'm going to say, listen, we didn't break up because of bad feelings. We broke up because we thought it out really carefully, and she can't live out here with me. She has to live in the city. So we have no future. And it doesn't mean that we don't love each other anymore. We still love each other, but she loves me so much. She wanted to let me go so I could live my life and try and find the right person for me. That is what true love is. And in some ways, if this Nari girl's going to put his business on blast like this, she never loved him in the first place. So that's what I'm going to say right there. That's what I'm going to say right there. There we go. Monica's saying 13 days until the Raptors preseason. Let's go, Doug Christie. Let's go 13 days. I love that so much. It's coming quick, so fast, and I'm ready. I am ready. I'm ready to do the previews. I'm ready to do the reactions. Fiercely saying good morning, fam, and happy Monday. Wishing you all a beautiful week ahead. There you go, MJ, holding it down for us in the capital region of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. MJ, I hope you have a fantastic Monday also. All the best to you and your family and everybody in your life, MJ. I love you so much. And she's saying, yes, Mo and fam, 13 days. Let's go. Let's go 13 days. It's like less than 2 weeks. And October the 6th in Montreal, we'll be here and we'll face off against former Raptor Jonas Valanciunas in the Washington Wizards in the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec. I'm all about it. I'm all about it, baby. That's right. Cool Cat saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew. Countdown looms closer. That's right. That is right. That is right. I'm so with you, Cool Cat. Let's go, coach. Let's go. Both y'all. Let's have a great week. Let's go. Fiercely saying, Trevor J, agreed. Some people act a certain way until they get humbled or reality checked. Always treat people with kindness. You never know what you can run into at a later point in life. I have trouble sometimes. I've been in such an influx of craziness in my life. It's so been upheaval and change that I've been very stressed out this year. I don't know if you guys have been able to tell since I left the old studio at Jones, things have been a little bit more agitated for me. And that's because change is really difficult for me and my personality. And I apologize if I've been ornery. I've been quick to get mad like I was yesterday. If any of that kind of stuff, I'm sorry. In some ways, I have Asperger's and I'm crazy. I can't help what I say. In some ways, I go too far. So I apologize. My intentions are good. And I'm not trying to be mean to anybody, but it's just, I have no filter. I really have no filter. I can't control my mouth. And that's part of what's fun about watching me on the morning. So that's what part of it is. But I agree with you, Fiercely. In some ways, what comes around goes around, and try and put the good energy out there. That's the best thing. And sometimes we're not all perfect at that. Sometimes we're not, but I'm trying, y'all. I'm going to try and do it. Cool Cat saying, I remember Eric Montross. I remember our team back then had very specific roles and scoring was not an option for us at all. Yeah. I mean, with Eric, he wasn't supposed to be one of the guys scoring at all. He did not have a 3-point shot. And he was very much the stereotypical big white center that got a lot of rebounds and kind of played defense. And that's about it. That's about it. He wasn't even a very good shot blocker, to be honest. So, I mean, that team was a role player team for sure. He was on that team around when we had JYD and Keon Clark and, that team. So he was, he was just a dutiful person that came in and did his duty, and he wasn't flashy. And he really didn't get a whole lot of publicity or attention at all. He was just kind of here, did his work, showed up, and was professional. And that's why I like him. That's why I like Eric. And in some ways, you know what? He didn't diss the Raptors or anything. He was always kind of, it's weird because I always got the feel that he respected and he enjoyed his time in Toronto. that he wasn't kind of like anybody who ever badmouthed or was upset that he had to come to the Raptors. Because around that time in the history of the league, there were a lot of people that were like, yeah, I don't want to go to the Raptors or anything like that. No, he never had that energy around him. He came up here dutifully and did his job. And I didn't hear him talk any trash about the Raptors or Toronto or Canada after that either. So in some ways, that's why he's really in the good books right there. He's really, really in the good books. Yeah. Let's see. We got more memories of him coming up here. Cowboys here. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. Tap to you, Bradley. Did he get punched in the throat by Shaq? I think that might have happened at some point. Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember that. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, he was the guy that had to tangle with people like Shaq at that time in the league. Shaq was probably the hardest cover at center in the whole entire league at that time in 2001. And yeah, I think I vaguely remember him getting punched in the throat by Shaq. I think I do remember that. Trevor J saying, former Raptor Muggsy Bogues sent Vince Carter. He does not get too much respect. What does that mean, Trevor? Former Raptor Muggsy Bogues send Vince Carter. He does not get too much respect. I'm not totally sure what that means. Are you saying that Muggsy's saying that Vince is not getting the respect he deserves? Is that what he's saying? Okay. I mean, it is what it is. We all have our different choices and stuff. Muggsy played with Vince. Muggsy has a lot of good feelings about Vince. In some ways, he was his guy when they were playing together, but also Muggsy wasn't here when Vince left. Muggsy had already left the Raptors and he was gone. And in some ways, he didn't care about that part of what happened with that. Well, that's the difference, Muggsy. That's the difference. The fans were there the whole time. You left the Raptors before he left the Raptors, and you weren't there when you saw what happened. Now, DeMar DeRozan, he saw what happened with Chris Bosh when he left, and Alvin Williams, he was on the Raptors when Vince left, so he saw what happened when Vince left. And in some ways, I would talk to Alvin more about what happened with Vince than I would with Muggsy, because Muggsy was gone already. He was gone already. Let's see, Fiercely saying Eric Montross and the P stubs. I love that. That's beautiful. That is beautiful right there. Fiercey. I love that so much. Let me go ahead and give you a dunk for that. I'm going to give Fiercey a dunk just for beautiful P stubs for Eric Montross this morning. That's really cool. Fiercey, you're at 205 now on the dunk charts. You're over that 200 mark. That's awesome. All right, let's see what else. Cowboys saying 13 days left. Let's go. That's right. Hype. Let's go. I'm so into seeing the barbecue era start. That's like properly at the beginning of the season instead of midway through the season. Spicy barbecue was fun time. The spicy barbecue was limited edition only. And now we got to go forward and see who's going to be the guys playing with the barbecue yak. That's right. Tommy Dookie's here. Rest in peace, Eric Montross. Happy Monday, Lex. Woohoo. Less than 2 weeks ago. Get that barbecue cleaned up. I'm all about the barbecue for sure. We need a barbecue out here too. Like I want a barbecue out here for next year. I'm not gonna get one now, but next spring I'm gonna get a really nice barbecue out here. And I want to have some people over and we're gonna have a barbecue out here. Who knows? Maybe we will have a Raptor Freak event out at my house at some point. It'd be kind of nice. It's a little bit not near anybody, but it is also a nice little paradise out here. So Smooth saying Eric was on the team when they went to the semis against the Sixers. That's right. He was on the team the year that we went up against Allen Iverson in the Eastern Conference semifinals and that epic 50 versus 50 between Iverson and Carter. Yep, he was on that team. He did not play a whole lot, but he did get 5 games in that season and that playoff run. So he played probably some in the New York first round and then against Philly in the second round. But he got 5 playoff games for the Raptors in that run during that time. Yeah, good memory, Smooth. Once again, we know Smooth knows his stuff because he's a classic card champion. That's right. Cool Cat saying, Lex, Scotty's school sweetheart, ex-girlfriend is pissed off, exposing some of their relationship dynamics on social media. Oh boy, Raptors culture needs a comeback. Once again, I kind of did my spiel on this. Now, if there's anything more than the one TikTok that I've seen where she's like, put your finger down if your 6-year high school sweetheart went to the NBA. Like she's saying stuff like, you came up to Toronto to take care of him. I find that hard to believe. Like, because I know Scotty's got a chef and the Raptors really take care of him good. Like, what is she doing to take care of him? Like, I have no idea. Maybe she is doing stuff to take care of him. Is she taking care of him like, all right, maybe the way that a girlfriend would a boyfriend? Sure, that's probably happening. Is she cooking him meals? Is she taking care of his errands? Is she running around doing this kind of stuff to help him, like as a plus? I don't know. She could have been. I don't want to diss her for that, but in some ways, when she said she moved up here to take care of him, I don't totally think that rings true just from what I've seen of his life in the time he's been a Raptor for 3 years now. In some ways, sure, maybe she's been lurking around in the background and stuff like that. Maybe she's been enjoying being around an NBA player and going to the clubs and going on trips and having nice things and stuff like that. I don't know what taking care of him entitles in this situation. And in some ways, we don't know. In some ways, we don't know. So we can't totally speculate on this stuff completely. I can go on vibes. I can go on energy. I can read personalities from TikTok. That's what I could do, but that's about it. That's about it. And even that is the face that they want to show. Yeah, that's the face they want to show when they put it on TikTok. So I don't know. But yeah, this is a very hot debate in Raptors social media land right now. And a lot of people have different opinions on it. Some people are just like me. It's like, it's fucking Scotty. We don't give a shit. We love him. And we're going forward with him. And maybe there's a lot of the males are thinking that. Maybe some of the more of the female fans of the Raptors are really hurt by this. And they're pissed at Scotty now. So, I mean, it's going to be a spectrum. And I allow everybody to have their opinion on this. But my opinion is this is not important. Let's move on. And if everybody's like getting mad at Scotty or not a Scotty fan because of this, well, that's your choice. That's your choice. And I won't tell you to not do that. It's just, we all have to have our own opinions and our own moralistic codes. And in some ways, what Scotty did, there's nothing wrong with it in my eyes. Nothing wrong with it in my eyes. He's just living his life. He's a young man. He can make his own decisions. And I'm not somebody to tell him how to play basketball or how to live his social life. I mean, I might tell him how to play basketball a little bit. Just a little bit. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. Stargate saying Eric played before Vince at UNC. Eric played on the team with Rick Fox and King Rice. But they were close because of their UNC Tar Heel ties. Of course, because Montross was around probably North Carolina when Vince was there. And he is probably very supportive and stuff. But they were close. They were very close, even if they didn't play exactly at the same time. That's right. That makes sense because Eric had been in the league a little bit longer before Vince came in the league. So that makes total sense, Stargate. Thanks for correcting me. Thanks for correcting me. Smith saying with Vince, AD, and Oak. That's right. That's right. He was around on that team, and he's kind of forgotten from that nucleus. You start thinking about Antonio Davis and Charles Oakley, Kevin Willis, those kind of guys. But yes, Montross was in that group. That's right. Fiercely saying, wow, beautiful trophy. Okay, yeah, that's a really nice trophy, isn't it? It's really, really nice trophy for Meredith for winning our fantasy. Yes, Trevor, you outdid yourself once again. Always doing crazy, amazing things for this channel. Trevor J is the commissioner of fun, and boy, does he make it fun here. He does. He really does. Ahmed's here. Good to see our champion, our Raptor Freak trivia champion. This is his trophy over here. And his name's right there on the plaque, 2024 Raptor Freak champion. Ahmed, how are you doing, my guy? Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing great. Been so busy lately, and I can't stay long today. I'll try to make it tomorrow to trivia, but not sure if I will make it. Ahmed, once again, I know you're back in school right now, and it's very hectic for you. I just wish you peace, happiness, and love, my guy. And I just want safety for you, as always. And yeah, whatever you can do. Listen, you still got a pretty good lead in the trivia. And people are catching up a little bit. And I love that maybe there'll be a competition because I know you're going to be coming back and you're going to keep running up score a bit. So we'll see if they can catch you. But you're still on top, just so you know. And yes, we will be doing trivia tomorrow. And I appreciate you coming to play if you can. Cowboys saying, that's an awesome looking trophy, Trevor J. Great job. Now you can grab the trophy that the Raptors are going to win this year. Let's go. This one right here. Another trophy that Trevor sent me recently. Larry O'Brien facsimile for the Toronto Raptors 2019 championship. Yeah, and this one's not going anyone. This is going to stay permanently in my backdrop to signify our championship with the Raptors in 2019. So this one's going to stay here. This one's not going anywhere. Trevor said this one's for your show, and that's got to stay on the set. That's right. That's right. Let's see. Fiercely saying this girl justifies why he kept her quiet by blasting their breakup. When you were in the background holding it down for him, you didn't seem to mind. Yeah, all right. So this girl justifies why he kept her quiet by blasting their breakup. When you were in the background holding it down for him, you didn't seem to mind. Yeah, I don't know what Scott's private life is like, whether he was having her as his main steady girlfriend, and he may have been seeing other women too. I mean, we asked him all the time on his Twitch, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? He said, no, I don't really have anybody special. She's sitting around hearing this. And in some ways, I mean, listen, in some ways, this does look bad on Scott, but in some ways, I'm like, I don't care. This society is so disposable with dates and people. Like people when you're out in the dating world, they will just drop you like and ghost you like with no like any kind of explanation. So this day and age, this is just how it is. It's cutthroat and it sucks. And in some ways, it's really, really tough to get a good trusted relationship with somebody that actually has the best intentions for you. So it's just tough. It's just tough. Yeah, I don't know. In some ways, I kind of remember her being in the Twitch chat with us sometimes because there was a name named Nari that would be in the chat with us from time to time in Scotty Barnes' Twitch family. So maybe she was all along around kind of monitoring and kind of talking with us in the Twitch family chat. Do you guys kind of remember the name Nari? Now, Scotty was on Twitch yesterday, but I missed it. I was in the yard doing a whole bunch of yard work all day from to sundown, was doing all kinds of yard work. So I missed the Scotty Barnes Twitch session that went on around 3 p.m. yesterday. I do not know exactly what he's talking about. I'm going to guess that he was talking about NFL, that he may have been talking about his Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and maybe a little bit of talking about college football, and maybe he's talking about UFC. He's probably talking about those kind of things. I don't know. Maybe he was playing 2K and hanging out with Lloyd. If anybody was in Scotty's Twitch stream yesterday and you want to enlighten us on what was happening on Scotty's Twitch yesterday afternoon, please share with the chat if you can. Isaac Campbell, if you're around, I know you were around, but maybe you didn't watch him. Who knows? But yeah, if somebody sees it, let me know. Cowboy saying alley oop to eye candy. All right, yeah, we'll do that. Let's do that for sure. We're gonna give Fiercey some more dunks. She's gonna go to 208. 208. That's right. We're giving her 3-pointers. 3-pointers are going up every time now. That's right. Fiercey saying it's none of our business. I'm an older black woman and even felt cringy when she mentioned the girlfriend ethnicity. It has no bearing on the situation nowadays. You will see mixed relationships. That's right. I mean, listen, racism has been horrible. What white people have done to minorities of all types, and that is racism too. But there can be racism in other ways. And in some ways, if we really want to be a more civilized society, we got to stop using it in certain ways as an excuse. In some ways, look, I get it that a very racist societal structure is something that needs to be called out on for race and stuff like this. But this is not a case where the race card needs to be played. In some ways, this is just people. And the color of people's skin don't need to matter in this. But I understand in some ways people will look at this and make this because this is the classic story of a very rich black athlete choosing a white woman. I get that. I get that. And in some ways there's hurt in this. But also at the same time, it is cheap to go there and do this in this way. And that's what Fiercey's saying here, that in some ways this doesn't matter. It could have been a black girl from Guelph. It didn't have to be either one. It doesn't matter in this situation. In some ways, I get it. There's the message of what Scotty is choosing and stuff like that is bad in certain ways. I get it. But in some ways, also, it's his life. And we don't know all the details. We cannot understand exactly why he chooses the way he chooses. And I know a lot of the youngsters, in some ways, the calling her white and stuff like that, that doesn't bother me as much as how much hate I'm hearing towards that woman about her age. That's the thing that's really disappointing to me. And to me, it just speaks to very immature young people on social media that don't get, we all age, first of all, youngsters. So, the way you talk right now, do you want the youngsters below you coming up later on being the same way to you when you get to that age? Because this is the thing, you're going to find out as you get older. You're going to find out. You get, I'm going to be 50 next year. And aging will humble you. And a lot of, smart young people understand this and they don't get all ageism on people, but there's a lot of dumbass ones that are kind of like always looking down on people for their age. And they think that like 29 is too old. They think that 30 is too old. Y'all are crazy. And you'll find out you're going to have harsh awakenings as you get older. If you get the privilege to live a long life and get older and older, because it is a privilege. Trust me. A lot of people don't get that privilege. And one of them is who we're talking about today, Eric Montross. So, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. In some ways, yeah, in some ways, you said it made you cringe when she brought up the white part in that TikTok. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Some people are calling her a snow bunny. They're calling it all this crazy like talk, and they're calling her like the milk that's gone sour at 33 or something. They're calling her 33. I think she's only 32 at this point, but maybe she's 33. I don't know. Who cares? In some ways, age is just a number, and in some ways, yeah, race is important because there's been a lot of systemic racism towards certain groups, and we need to do rectify that. But also at the same time, sometimes race is not the factor that matters in this. And this is one of those cases. Kaz is here on the road. Kaz on the road. Let's go. 2929. Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freak family crew. Good morning to you, Kaz. I hope you're out there driving safe and sunshine ahead and just good weather and good times for you. All the good things coming to you down the road. That's right. Our trucker friend, Kaz. That's right. Let's go. Cowboy saying, you do you, Papa Barnes. You do you, bro. Don't listen to the noise. Let's go. Yeah, Cowboy, he has different mothers of his children. And I don't think that Cowboys ever cared about what race these people are and never thought about this. And that's just how it is. You know, it's just how it is. Cowboys free to live his life and do how he does. And that's how he does it. And in some ways, I'm not trying to tell Cowboy how to live his life. No, I'm not going to. That's overstepping. And in some ways, it's none of my business. Also, it's the same thing. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, if my daughter comes to me with someone who's not Haitian, I will not pass judgment. I'm looking for her happiness. See, that's the thing, man. There's so many different people, and we really are a melting pot in Toronto. You could meet somebody from a whole different region of the world than where your family comes from, and it could really enrich your lives. This person could be the perfect puzzle piece that fits with you because y'all's personality are perfect, and there's a joy that you give each other that's just so pure and right. And that's the thing that's beautiful about interracial marriages is when that is found and that balance is struck. And it's just a beautiful thing. And it's just something, you know, in some ways, look, there's white supremacists out there. They're going to be like, yeah, you should not be with anybody other than a white woman if you're white, and black should only be with black. But there's, there's also black supremacists that could be like that also and kind of being like, black people should just stick with black people. No, people should just go with who they want to go with. If you want to marry a Chinese woman, you marry a Chinese woman. If you want to marry a Chinese man, marry a Chinese man. If you want to marry a black man, white woman, black woman, it doesn't matter. In some ways, this is where color blindness should be happening. In some ways, people want to be colorblind about like history of racism and lynchings and all kinds of crazy shit. No, we should be colorblind. No, motherfucker, that's history. We can't be colorblind on this. We need to talk about this. But in this department, this is somewhere we need to be colorblind. And I applaud Fiercely as a mother for having this wisdom already for her daughter, that whoever she chooses and she fits with and she's happy with and comfortable with and really good for her, it doesn't matter what race they are. It doesn't matter. Right there. That's right. There you go. Cowboy saying, keep preaching. That's right. That's right. Tommy saying, I agree 100%. Scotty stuff is none of our business. Also, probably with nothing but good intentions. Religious people sharing their faith can often come across negatively. Well, it's just that I don't want holier than thou people to come in and try to like tell them, oh, you're immoral, or, oh, this is wrong what you did, or anything like that. We don't know. We have no idea how his relationships with these different people have changed and done different things and this and that and this. And in some ways, we have no idea. If we knew all the details, maybe we would think Scotty's a scumbag, but we don't. And in some ways, it's none of our business once again. So let's not, in some ways, we just got to stand with our guy. It's kind of like I say, I stand with Masai. I stand with the Raptors. I stand with my team. Well, I'm standing with Scotty on this. I'm sorry. I don't know who Nari is. I feel bad for you. I have sympathy for you. I feel bad for you. But in some ways, look, you could look at it also as I've had amazing 6 years with Scotty Barnes, and I always have that. In some ways, that's how I have to look at it with Adriana. So I've had amazing 5 years with Adriana, and I'm proud of that. But I know that it won't continue. And that's just how it is. So in some ways, you can have grace and dignity in ending a relationship, or you could go ahead and put it all on blast like I just did, and she's doing also. So there you go. There you go. Monique saying, yeah, I made a mistake with the writing that about Eric M. I meant to write Vince. That Lex, thank you. No problem, Mo. No problem. No problem. It's all good. We're all fact checking each other and getting the corrections. We got different people correcting me, and it's just how it is. We want to make sure we get this fact straight. And we don't know the facts, anything about Scotty's situation. So in some ways, it's like, who the fuck am I to tell him what he's doing is wrong? Seriously. Andrew saying, morning, folks. 13 days until the Raptors preseason. Let's go. Let's go, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber? Let's see. What are you doing, Justin? You want to wake up? Let's see what's going on here. All right. Justin's up. He's a little tired. Justin, how are you doing? Are you okay? Have you been just out there dam building all the time? Yeah, I seen that you take some of the trees that I cut down and you take them to the river after I cut them down. They may come and take your dam down because you're kind of making a new lake out there. And they don't like that. They may come and do that because you shouldn't be doing that in some ways. I know it's natural and you're supposed to do that because you're a beaver. But in some ways, also, you may be making a nice new little lake out there, and that may not be good for the environment. Anyway, Justin, you're my son. I appreciate you. And whatever choices you make in your life for who you love, you go ahead and make them. You're my son. That's the kind of dad I am. You go ahead and just be happy. I want you to be happy with whoever it is. But yeah, okay. All right, Justin. I love you. All right, bye. All right, go. All right, bye. All right, there you go. Justin Bieber, y'all. All right, 13. That's right. Bam, bam, bam. Fiercely saying, right, Cowboy? It's 2024. People need to spread love, not controversy. You put yourself out on TikTok. In my eyes, you are seeking attention and clicks. I'd be Scotty Barnes' mom. Glad my son dodged a bullet. That's what a lot of people are saying in the comments, too, that it looks like this is a win for Scott and that he dodged a bullet. I mean, I don't know this girl. I don't know. In some ways, I could see where she could be maybe a little bit controlling and a little bit like this and this and this. I mean, knowing Scott doesn't like people telling him what to do. And in some ways, he probably is like, this new girl's more easygoing in some ways. And maybe she's like, she doesn't really keep on top of me all the time and just like watching me and stuff like that. Who knows? There may be very, very stark differences between the personalities of these two women. And that may be part of it right there. Let's see. Smooth saying NBA guys to keep their women private, at least if they're not married. Yeah, and they should. And in some ways, it's none of anybody's business. In some ways, it is what it is. And in some ways, also, these women got to understand that, these men have a lot going on. And this trend lately of taking to TikTok to put all their business out there, like what happened with Zion Williamson last summer. Oh, my gosh, is kind of crazy. Now, we could look at Zion's situation and we could look at Scotty's situation. And yeah, Scotty's situation is wholesome and fine compared to Williamson. Seriously. No disrespect to RJ. I know he's your best friend, and we love Zion in proxy because of RJ Barrett, Duke Blue Devils. But yeah, that business that was happening last year in this offseason with Mariah, with Zion, was crazy. That was crazy. That was so crazy. Some of the stuff she was saying about him was crazy. That's right. Trevor's saying, I love everybody because my grandfather of my mom's white Spanish. So I have a lot of white people in my family. See, that's the way it should be. There should be all kinds of like mixing and people like getting more culturally exposed to other cultures. Like my brother's married to a Chinese woman and it's like been great. They have amazing, beautiful children. So it's like, there's all kinds of great things in life that you can find in the unexpected places that and people can judge. But they don't know. They don't fucking know. And they need to mind their own business as part of it also. That's right. Nameless saying, hola, muchachos. Hola to our Italian plumber friend. Yes, we love Nameless, the teacher of the Italiano. Cowboy saying Raptors and Toronto is culture. There you go, Cowboy. I love that. That's right. Toronto is the most diverse city in the entire world. It is the city where you can meet somebody from every single country in this world. If I wanted to date around the whole world, I could do that in Toronto. And I have. Trust me, I've dated women from all countries all around the world. And I've never, ever, ever had any kind of reason not to date a black person or a Chinese person or any kind of race, anybody from anywhere. I've dated them all. I'm not lying. I really have. I've been single a lot of my life, and I have dated pretty much every ethnicity. Yes, I have. It's very true. It is very true. Yes, it is. Let's see. Smooth saying most NBA women aren't mother material. There are exceptions, which we know about. I hope Scotty made the right choice for him. I mean, from my outward perspective of looking in, it seems like he did. Because once again, the girl from Guelph, she's very nurturing and she's very much taking care of the dogs. We see the dogs in a lot of her TikToks, and she just seems like a nurturer kind of person and not a taker. There's givers and takers in life, right? people that just want things, want things, want things. And then it seems like she may be giving something to Scott that gives him a peace of mind. And I don't know, maybe I don't know why he did this. I don't know what the difference is with not having the baby with his ex and having the baby with this girl. We don't know. It's none of our business. And in some ways, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's right. Yeah. I don't know. So hopefully, Scotty did make the right decision also, Smooth. We don't know. And it actually none of our business. It is none of our business at all. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, I wonder if NBA players can use non-disclosure agreement to keep their personal stuff private. I'm sure they are. And I'm sure they do. I'm sure that this kind of stuff happens all the time where they sign stuff. I mean, in some ways, I know for sure that they do this with any kind of agencies that they use. Let's just say there's agencies out there where guys in the NBA can get women through an agency. We know what I'm talking about. And I know that those companies always have very strict non-disclosure agreements for their employees. The people that work for them are not allowed to talk about any of that kind of stuff or put it on blast. And those women that are in that line of work are very dedicated to doing this because they know if they do break this, they're out and they can't be involved in this world anymore. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Now, when do we get to the point of it's becoming Diddy world kind of stuff? That's scary. That's scary. But I know for a fact that there's agencies in Toronto that supply women for athletes and rich people if they want, because that's just what it is. And you can call it whatever you want. Escort service, whatever. And it's really just a short-term thing. There's no kind of long-term anything. It's just like, hi, hello, nice to meet you. Okay, all right, we're done. Bye. I'll never see you again. It's that kind of stuff. It's that kind of stuff. Mark's saying for real. Yeah, good to see you, Mark S. Raptor Freak Mark S. Let's go. 13 days till Raptors preseason. Let's go, Mark. That's right. For real. He's like, Lex, lay it down about Scotty real quick about this, please. That's right. Fiercely saying, I ain't judging shit. Like Masai, all I want to do is win, no matter what. And if Scotty's feeling good because he's got a little boy coming or a little girl coming, that's right. That's right. We want to win. And if Scotty's a proud daddy and he's happy and he's like, whoa, I got to change my life now because I've got a little kid and I'm playing for somebody else now than just myself, Yeah. Yeah, that could change him real quick. And that could change winning too for us real quick. Make us win, no matter what. Let's see. Let's go. That's right. David's here. All right, David's here. So we'll do the commissioner trivia has come into the chat. So we will go ahead and do the classic card of the day, guys. It's almost empty, and I will be getting it refilled with the nice big new box provided by Trevor J, Commissioner Fun. All right, this is gonna be a weird one, guys. This is gonna be a weird one. All right, 9:50 is the time. I'll go back to. All right, let's see who knows this one. I'm gonna cover up the corner here. Who knows who this player is? This is a long time ago. A long time ago. Look at that, years playing in the team. Do you know who that is? Full name answer will win the classic card of the day. This is maybe one of the oldest cards we've done ever. Rick Barry. Good guess, Miles. That's not right. It is not Rick Barry, but it's a good guess, man. Good to see you. Welcome to the channel. Every single day we're live. Yeah. Let's see. You weren't born yet, Fiercey, so you can't answer this one. Clint Eastwood. I love that. You think that's Clint Eastwood? Make my day, punk. Yeah, I know what you're wondering. You're wondering if I shot 6 times. It's not Clint. Clint is awesome. I love Clint Eastwood. Yeah, no, Chuck Connors was the old NBA player. You want to dunk for Cowboy for going Clint Eastwood? That's pretty good. Bobby Wilson is not right. Seymour, but Smooth Brown Man, undefeated. It is Chris Ford, former coach. Chris Ford. This is one of the Hoops card coach cards from when they played. Chris Ford was the coach of the Celtics, and he also played for them back in the day, too, from 72 to 82. Chris Ford, Coach Chris Ford. Look at Smooth Brown Man. Look at that. Look at that. Undefeated. He can go way back like that to the 70s and get a Chris Ford card. Veteran of 10 NBA seasons as a player and a member of the 1981 NBA champion Boston Celtics. That's right. Chris Ford, old coach in the NBA way back in the day. There you go. Smooth on it. That's right. It's old. So David's giving him 200 points because it's an older card. Good job, Smooth Brown Man. And thank you, David, for adjudicating on our classic card today. All right, let's get back in the chat. Getting back to where David was. And what David is saying here is Scotty, do Scotty, and we'll be good. That's right. Listen, once again, I'm not TMZ. I'm not trying to fucking blow up this man's racket and what he's trying to do. No, I'm not hating the game. Let the man play. If he's going to do what he's going to do, he's going to do what he's going to do. He ain't out there doing Sean Kemp stuff. So, hey, there ain't no problem, right? Even Sean Kemp, whatever he's doing, he could do what he's going to do. He wants 20 children with 16 different women. That's his life. That's the way he does it. Even Rocky Soul Man Johnson in this world, that's fine. Go ahead and spread your seed and meet women in every city and have a family in every city, just like Rocky Soul Man Johnson had. Seriously, did y'all know that about The Rock's dad? That in Young Rock, they don't really show this aspect. But Rocky Johnson, The Rock's dad, Soul Man Johnson, when he was wrestling, he got a lot of different women pregnant all over the place. And later in life, Dwayne The Rock Johnson was finding half siblings in places like all over the place that he did not know about, that his father had fathered while he was a wrestler on the road for WWF. Sorry. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, not pretty cool, but yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has a lot of half siblings because his dad was out there. Let's just put it that way. Now, I don't see Scotty doing this. Is Scotty out there making baby mamas left and right and all over the place? So yeah, let's judgmental stuff go somewhere else. Seriously, come on now. It's none of our business. Our interest in Scotty begins and ends with basketball. Leave the young man's personal life as such personal. That's right. That's right. And Raptors fans that are changing their Raptor fandom or their fandom for Scotty because of this, well, you were never a real one, is what I'm going to say on this one. You were never a real one if you're turned off from watching the Raptors because Scotty did this recently. Seriously, that's right. That's right. Smooth saying, I'm sorry about your breakup, Lex. You know, it's been a long time coming. And honestly, we've been kind of working towards it for about 6 months. And we just got to the stage that, well, it's not going to work. Because in some ways, she needs TTC because she wants to be independent. She'll never be able to drive because of her epilepsy. So we can't be out here together. I'm going to be out here because this is just where I'm going to be. It's been ordained even before I even met her. I was going to be coming out here at some point. So it's just how it is. It's crazy because she's the right person, but the circumstance is in the way. And it sucks because I've worked so hard to find the right person. And I found her, but it doesn't line up. And it's frustrating as hell is what I'm going to say. It's frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, it really is. All right, let's see. Mo's saying, yes, David. That's right. Nameless saying, I found you exceptionally agitated yesterday. I was. It was partly because we had two of my favorite people, to be honest. I really do love Jillian, and I really do love Mike. Being the old actions that they used to do that used to agitate the hell out of me and do it. And yes, I was a little bit agitated yesterday, Nameless. I have been agitated. I'm real. I got to be real me and my emotions and how I feel. I do this every day. I can't hide them. And some days I'm going to get up and feel a little bit of things just because of things that are going on. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. And maybe I shouldn't be putting my personal life on blast. But in some ways, y'all are curious. You've seen the Odyssey. You guys seen when Adriana, I broke up and I really was a mess. Like after New Year's, like a year and a half ago. And well, we stuck together after that for a year and a half. So I'm very, very proud of the things we've gone through, even though it's going to end now. So it's just how it is. It's just how it is. Cool Cat saying later in life, the ex will be embarrassed again, that social media will exist a reminder of that journey in life. Social media lives on longer. Yeah, this is something we need to remember. And in some ways, me chronicling on this channel every single day, this stuff, it could go on forever. And I don't know where at one point it gets thrown into an algorithm or they do things with the data from my shows. In some ways, who knows? AI could read all my stuff and they could make the fake me at some point. And it could be that Lex is living on forever because he's got hours and hours and hours of his personality put on display on YouTube. I don't know. In some ways, I'm kind of thinking that will happen, and I don't care because in some ways that may be very interesting to have my voice, my opinions, my views live on after me. Seriously, it's a very weird kind of thing that I'm thinking about with that. And yeah, that TikTok may bug this woman in the future. That may be like, oh man, I was so young and immature. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? But I wouldn't have met you, honey, if that. Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't have met you. So yeah, maybe it was good that I did that because you found me. You know, it could be like that for her. Yeah, cool guy saying, Lex, change is inevitable. We just try our best on life's journey. You know what? This is really actually very holistic. Cool cat saying this to me because it's true. Life does not just stay static and the same, and it changes over time. And it's how you gracefully change with the change that helps you. in things. In some ways, this has been a very, very healthy breakup between her and I. And I'm proud of us. And in some ways, we still love each other. It's not going to change. And we're just having a really hard time not talking to each other right now because we are used to talking every day. And to help change things, we are trying to go no contact right now. And that's why I'm a wreck. That's why I'm a wreck. Let's see. Cowboy saying, Lex and Adriana, I hope the change works out for both of you guys. Yeah, I told you, Cowboy, that this is not going to work for us because of she's a city girl and I'm a country guy now. And in some ways, yeah, I know y'all said don't call her a city girl because that has bad implications now. But I'm like, it really is because that this wasn't going to work. And we knew it even when we told you that day. And in some ways, we're just kind of kidding ourselves. It's just how it is. Fiercely saying, Lex, change can be difficult for anyone, especially with what you just shared, all the movement the past months. Hope everything settles for you soon. Google great content on how to deal with change. Yeah, I appreciate that, Fiercely. And actually, I do listen to the teachings of Eckhart Tolle out of BC. He's amazing. He really does help you stay present and in the now and able to deal with whatever you're dealing with. He can help anybody with any situation. And of course, reading DeMar's book was holistic for me also, and him dealing with what he deals with. You know, you hear about the stuff he's dealt with, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel really lucky in some ways because he's giving a shining example of grace and how to deal with things through loss and sadness and a depression. And in some ways that, a leader like DeMar DeRozan really is helpful to me in those kind of ways too. But yeah, I'm doing stuff like that for sure, Fiercey. I appreciate y'all's support and caring about me also. Seriously, I really do. Stargate saying social media has allowed us to feel as if we are entitled to be personally involved in people whom we don't know from a bag of Doritos lives and judge them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is true. It's real easy to not see everything about it. And once again, social media often is the best foot forward and not telling the whole entire story. In some ways, that people don't want to show raw, vulnerable things like what I've been talking about with my own personal life today, because in some ways, people leave themselves open to be judged or to like have all kinds of weird stuff happen. So it's kind of good to keep your own business to yourself. But I'm crazy. I have no filter, and I can't help but be Lex and just say what I'm going to say. And in some ways, I can't really stop. In some ways, at this point, I'm already who I am. It's like I was talking to my cousin's husband this weekend. He's like, I'd let the kids watch you more if you didn't cuss so much. And I was like, well, I can't change that. I'm unfiltered. I just got to be who I am. I have no filter. I'm just going to say what's coming out of my head. And in some ways, that could go all kinds of different places. And that's why. Andrew saying, actual year one of the rebuild. I'm so excited to see all this development. Me too. Grady Dick, Jacoby Walter, Ulrich Shamshay. In fact, Andrew, you made me want to go look at the Instagram stories real quick. So let's go look at the Instagram stories real quick. We got Ulrich Shamshay in downtown Toronto. And it's really cool to see him like put his little pin in that he's downtown and he's in traffic. And he's down amongst the very tall buildings in the business district of downtown Toronto. And the thing I love about this is the dichotomy, the difference between where he comes from, that rural farm in Cameroon as a prince of Cameroon, to Toronto and the big, huge, bright lights, big city skyscrapers of Toronto, the futuristic kind of looking city compared to where he comes from. That has got to be culture shock in some ways, but also really fun because he knows he's somewhere very exciting and he's going to get to do very exciting things. So I love seeing Shamshay taking a picture of traffic downtown in Toronto in the big buildings, and he is here. He is in Toronto, guys. Also, Ulrich is celebrating his coach, Leftwich. Coach Leftwich of the 905 is on blast on his Ulrich Shamshay's Instagram story. So I'm wondering if Leftwich is a special coach for Shamshay, and he's working with him. He likes him so much that he wanted to put him on blast on his Instagram story. So that's a good sign also that Shamshay is showing a connection to one of the 905 coaches in his Instagram stories. Really, really good. Amari Moore still celebrating birthdays. He's got another birthday for Jesse James, 10. Another one of his good friends, Amari. Let's get it this year on 905. Jamal Shed celebrating some friend who's crazy with no shirt on with the mini hoop. Lloyd celebrating the Giants win yesterday in the NFL. Big W for the New York Giants in Lloyd's world. Dylan Disu on the court working out. What is that jersey he's wearing? He's not wearing a Raptors jersey at this point. It looks like it's a blue writing. It may be Oklahoma City Thunder is what it kind of looks like. I don't know. But it looks like Disu might not be in our program anymore. Jamison Battle celebrating the Vikings win over the Texans yesterday, 34-7. Win, baby. So a lot of the players are enjoying their NFL right now. Gary Trent Sr. still getting the after effects of his birthday this weekend. He's got some new Versace shoes, it looks like. Those shoes are nice. Those are very nice, high-quality shoes right there. Yeah, he's going to be wearing some nice shoes. And, he's pulling another bag. It's Louis Vuitton. Look out. He's just got more and more swag all over the place. Oh, those are Louis Vuitton shoes. Never mind. They aren't Versace shoes. They're Louis Vuitton. So, yeah, this guy's got classy clothes. That's for sure. Here's a funny little clip he posted. When you need a new car, but you're not sure about your credit, and it's a We Finance sign, but the lights are out, and it said, we finna see. That's the thing, because they don't know if the credit's good enough to buy a car. That's really funny. And then there's a bull who's trying to get out of a pen on Gary Sr.'s stories, and it gets out, and the guy does a crazy backflip over the bull, and it's so cool. And then he runs and gets out of there. Man, bullfighters are funny, man. And you got to be an athlete. That's not like Speed jumping over a Lamborghini. That is jumping over a bull, and that is crazy. That is crazy because that bull could turn and get you with that horn real easy. Yeah, there's somebody celebrating Gary Trent Sr.'s birthday. He's wearing the Ohio jersey and putting the trophy up over his head. Beautiful. There's a picture of Gary with his son, Gary Trent Jr., and it's really good to see Gary Jr. on Gary Sr.'s. There he is with some ladies that he's out at the club with. Happy birthday, Gary Trent, from Train It Right. And three very attractive ladies of different races being there with Gary Trent Sr., getting down and getting funky. We know Gary's probably got a good life in the romantic department. It's ups and downs, but he still has a good life, I'll bet. Let's see. Gary showing some old newspapers from his Shack of the Mac days on Ohio. So yeah, really, really cool to see the artifacts, the mementos from his past career. He's looking at them on his birthday, reflecting on when he played back in the day. And there's even looks like some Raptor stuff kind of around there on the table too. Yeah, Louis Vuitton all day, all the name brand stuff. So yeah, he's all about that. Norman Powell at the football game yesterday, checking in the Chargers game. So yeah, a lot of players involved with the NFL right now. Good stuff to see. We see Norman actually at the game around the 50-yard line. Pretty good seats where he's at. So he was at the San Diego game yesterday. RJ Barrett celebrating. That looks like it's which teams are that? That's Auburn playing. So he's watching SEC, and it looks like Arkansas versus Auburn. And it looks like RJ's a fan of the Arkansas player Isaiah Stega. Jonathan Mobo saying everybody have a blessed Sunday. And he's quoting Isaiah 41:13. So Mobo really showing his religious side very, very a lot so far since he's joined the Raptors. So it's all about his faith, just like Emmanuel Quickly. So he's very much leaning into his faith a lot. There's Emmanuel with his mother. Of course, it was her 50th birthday this weekend. And it's so cool to see a baby Quickly in her arms. So if you want to see baby Emmanuel, there's a picture of him as a baby on his Instagram right now that looks really cool. And all right, here's another cool moment that happened. In fact, I was thinking about making this the Monday moment, but I didn't want to do 2 days of DeMar right in a row. DeMar DeRozan, and this is really smart. The NBA has given all of the rookies coming into the NBA this season DeMar DeRozan's book signed. And this is a great book for these young guys to get. And I hope they read it. If you're smart, young rookies, you'll read DeMar's book because he talks a lot about the NBA and transitioning to become an NBA player. And also, he has views about what it means to work hard and be a skilled NBA player and not just a lazy, talented player that rests on their talent and does not put the work in to skill develop and get better and better like DeMar DeRozan does. So this is a great book for NBA rookies to come in and learn the right way to come into the league and make a real long career for yourself like DeMar DeRozan did. So I love that he did that, giving it back. And it seems like the rookies were really touched that DeMar's book was coming to them with a heartfelt personal message to them. So DeMar DeRozan's just winning, man. There's like left and right W's for DeMar DeRozan right now. So there you go. There's your Instagram check. The rookies got DeMar's book signed. And Ulrich Shamshe's downtown riding around in Toronto. It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Andrew's saying the TikTok proves that Scotty made the right choice. Airing your dirty laundry online like that is just immature. Yeah, it could be at some point she was going to do that to him at some point in a bad way anyway. So in some ways, it's better to just make the cut and just go ahead and go forward in some ways, because it could be that this could have been uglier down the road. Who knows? I don't know. Either way, once again, we can't speculate about all this too much. David's saying, laugh out loud. I'd take care of him. Scotty has a whole franchise. He doesn't need you, sweetheart. That's what I'm wondering. And I had even speculated that Scotty had not brought a whole lot of Florida up here with him, but apparently he had brought her with him. But I had no feeling of that around it. Maybe she was one of the voices that we heard on the side of him on Twitch when he's playing video games. Maybe she was somebody who came in and said something to him, and he's like, oh, no, I'm okay. I'm just going to keep playing right now, or something like that. Who knows? And the other thing is, I'm wondering, like, why is Scotty on Twitch so much up here in Canada in the summertime playing video games his first year after his rookie season? He's playing like almost every day. Where's this woman like taking care of him or being with him or doing stuff with him? He'd rather go and play video games and hang out with us. So I was like, that's a red flag right there too, in some ways, isn't it? That man was spending all his free time hanging out with his Twitch family and playing video games on the 2K, you know? G-San just announced Raptors are retiring Vince's jersey. Wow. Okay, let me go look at this breaking news. I want to make sure. G's very reliable, so I do believe he's probably right. Okay, I see it right here. Let's see what they're saying exactly. Okay, Josh Lundberg saying the Raptors will retire Vince's number 15 when they host Sacramento on November the 2nd. So they are going to jump ahead the Nets and do this before the Nets do. So they're going to do this right away. Wow. So they're going to do this at the very beginning of the season. And the Kings, of course, are a team that Vince played for. Nearly 26 years after scoring the first ever basket at Scotiabank Arena, Vince Carter will be the first player in the franchise's 30-year history to have his jersey go up in the rafters. Now, you know I've said I didn't want them to do this, but you see that I can't control this. So I'm going to very much be like, all right, we're doing this. More on the Raptors' decision to retire Vince's jersey, which wasn't a slam dunk and mostly mended, but still complicated relationship between the Hall of Famer and the organization he helped put on the NBA map. Yeah, see, this is tough. In some ways, look, I'm going to be, I'm okay with this. It's fine. I don't think it's great. I think it's kind of a mistake, but whatever. In some ways, this is where I show grace and say, all right, I wouldn't have done this, Masai. But in some ways, I guess because the Nets are pushing theirs and they're going to do it in January, you want to get ahead of them and retire him with us first. I get it. And well, they're going to do it at the beginning of the season. So it is what it is. And this is official. So, well, we're going to put 15 up in the rafters for Carter. I'm not going to look at it ever, and I won't respect it. But they're going to do it. I can't control that. It is what it is. Tom's saying, wow. Fiercely saying, I will be at trivia. Awesome. Well, I'm happy you'll be here tomorrow. I'd like you to do very well and rise up the ranks, Fiercely. That's right. Andrew saying, damn, that's wild. Yeah. David saying, man, 15 is a stupid number anyway. Well, listen, in some ways, he needs to hear both sides of the fan nation. And the ones that are going to embrace it and be so happy and cheer for him, that's fine. But maybe some of us should boo it when we show at the game, seriously. And some people will say that's classless, but maybe that'll be what we need to show the balance of the true story about Vince with our franchise. That some of us should boo it at the actual ceremony. And some people may say that looks bad and stuff like that. No, in some ways he needs to hear it. And in some ways he doesn't deserve the absolute undying adulation and standing ovation that DeMar DeRozan got coming back after he was traded to the San Antonio Spurs. In some ways, he needs to hear that mix because he knows, and he's aware of this. He knows that some Raptors fans do not like him, and some do. And well, I'm one of those ones that don't like you, Vince, and that's just how it is. That's right. Mike's saying, "Did you get my text, Lex?" No, Mike, because I changed my phone. I have a completely new phone number. And I put you in my new phone. So after the stream, I'll message you my new number. So I have your number still. But that if you text with my old 416 number, it's dead. It's absolutely dead with like Bell, because I canceled my Bell account and left Bell. And it was just happened to coincide with them selling their share of the Raptors. But yeah, no, I didn't get your text, Mike. I appreciate you texting me, and I'll talk to you after the show today. I'll text you back my new number. And I'll say, hey, it's Lex, and this is my new number. Yeah. So he's saying, wait, what? What? And Nameless has got VC15. There we go. And David's like, oh, yeah. I mean, it was probably inevitable. And I had been gearing up myself to hear this news. That's very shocking. It's coming right now. But the fans have been demanding this to a degree. There's been a lot of comment sections where it's saying, oh, just retire his jersey already and say this and say that. So in some ways, they want to appease the younger fans who are very vocal and saying this. The old fans are shaking their head. And they're just kind of like, oh, all right, we're doing this. Really, I really wanted number 7 to be first, maybe number 10. But yeah, all right, you want to do this. Kyle Lowry may be retired by this time next year, and maybe we should have retired him first, is what I would say. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Smooth saying there's nothing on Twitter yet. Well, Josh Lewinberg's broke it, so it's got to be real. Cowboys saying congratulations to Vince. G saying he saw it on TSN. Yeah, so it's legit. It's legit. Kaz is saying a lot of people were congratulating Scotty about the baby on Twitch, but he just ignored it. That's interesting. So, Kaz, you were on Twitch with him and you saw it. So you said that a lot of people he was ignoring that. He didn't want to acknowledge it. But in some ways, he didn't dissuade it either. He didn't say, oh, guys, that's not true. So he didn't say it's not true, but he didn't acknowledge it either. So it's probably true. In some ways, if he said, yeah, guys, I'm not having a baby, that would have killed this whole thing. But yeah. Carlos saying, in my experience, you really don't end up with the person you're with during your teens and early 20s. It's very rare. I think this is very true and logical. If you're lucky and you have that happen and it goes really smooth, that's fantastic. And that's a blessing. Honest. High school sweethearts are great, but there's so much maturing and changing that people go through in their 20s that sometimes people just grow apart naturally in certain ways. And honestly, Scott has gone through so much in the last 6 years that when he met that woman, and originally he was a totally different person at that time. Let's just put it that way. And maybe it is like, you've changed, honey. I don't know you anymore. And that could have happened in this situation right here. That could have happened right there. Yeah, I think Carlo's very wise in saying this. And in some ways, this is true. You know, you don't fully become who you are. It used to be like people said you're an adult at 18 and you just got to be an adult. Well, that's not totally true. With the way things are going now, in some ways, you're not totally fully mature and fully realized personality until almost your late 20s, maybe even almost 30. So that's the way I look at it there. Mike's saying Jalen Green, his boy, has an older woman as well. Yeah, but it's different with her because she's got babies with multiple NBA players, Mike. And she's kind of a trap on this kind of things. Like, she's one of those ones. Let's just put it that way. That's out there seeking financial security in some ways. And some people are trying to say this about Scotty's girl. I don't know if that's totally true. I wouldn't put that label on her as far as what I can detect from looking at her. So I don't know. But that woman that Jalen Green's mixed up with is a complete mess, Mike. Complete mess. She has like 3 different athlete men. I think she's had babies with 3 different famous athletes, 2 NBA players and like an NFL player. So she's like collecting or something like that. And she is older. She's like even older than Scotty's woman. She's around 35 or something like that. Now, people saying this stuff about grooming and all this kind of stuff, you don't understand. In some ways, age shouldn't be a factor. As long as maybe that age rule is enforced and it's not like, oh, half their age plus 7, you do that if you really want to go by some rule. But in some ways, once again, people can be at different maturity levels at different ages and they line up better than somebody that is their own age. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. There you go. Tommy's got all kinds of vent stuff in the emoticons all of a sudden. Oh, gross. It's gross, but Tommy's going to celebrate. It's fine. The emoticon giant wants to put VC15 on blast. Let him do it. It's his day to do it. In some ways, he controls this. Even if I don't totally ordain it, it's fine. David's saying age is a state of mind. Who gives a flying fuck how old the woman is? Well, some of these Raptors fans apparently do. They're calling her like she's aging like spoiled milk or something like that. It's crazy. Tommy's saying can't wait till it's all about basketball. Laugh out loud. Well, it's the off season. We got something we need to talk about. Tom, Scotty's got Young and the Restless going on in his life right now. Well, in some ways, it's the topic du jour. In some ways, it is. Cowboys got that jersey on blast. Look at this. He's got like there. This is crazy. Alley-oop to Tom Duke, I guess, even though in some ways, you know what? I'm not upset about the news, even though I think it's kind of like, I wish I was so excited that the Raptors were retiring a jersey, but I'm not. I'm not excited about that. So in some ways, it's like it's going to happen. But man, I wish it had been Kyle. Honestly, I wish it'd been Kyle first. And in some ways, I don't think that the Vince deserves this honor. I really don't. 192 for Tommy Dookie for his emoticon work. 192, my guy. There you go. 192. You're going to get 200 soon. All right, let's see. Cowboys saying Scotty's Baltimore Ravens beat my Dallas Cowboys yesterday. Oh, well, I'm waiting for the Raptors. Yeah, I don't know how Dallas is doing so far this season. I don't think they're doing very well. And well, Scotty may have been talking about that on his stream yesterday, instead about pregnancies, talking about Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens beating the Cowboys. That's right. That's right. David's saying, so how about them Raps? I don't know yet. We'll have to see. David's saying, I haven't had a chance to watch the video on Jacoby yet. You seen that yet, Lex? The one that Coach Allen did? Yeah, I watched it a little bit. He's got a new telestrator where he writes lines all over the place. And some people are criticizing him that he's writing crazy little doodles on there and not really using the telestrator like a coach would and showing movements and plays. Instead, he's writing little smiley faces and writing words and all kinds of stuff. And they say this is distracting. I don't know, Coach Allen. I like your new setup. Maybe you could dial it down on the right and the little cute little graphics and stuff and make it look more like you're a coach and doing Coach Allen kind of stuff. But yeah, some of the stuff he's saying is sound. But once again, I'll stand on this. That is Baylor. That's not the NBA. And there's no telling what will translate. Now, we've seen great translation for Grady Dick and his skills from Kansas to the NBA last season. Well, I'm hoping the same for Jacoby Walter. But every player may have different learning curves. And it could be that there's some things about Jacoby's game that he struggles to get used to the NBA game. But then again, maybe he's a hit right away. I like what Coach Allen's saying. I want to believe it. But once again, I'm going to be, let's see it on the court. And then I'll get behind him completely. But I don't know yet. I don't know. There's some very, very promising things he pointed out in that clip for sure. Cowboys saying alley-oop to David. Let's go. Let's go. All right, we'll give David a dunk. Why not? David's getting a dunk today for just being St. David. St. David. David, you got to come out here, seriously, very, very soon. Because honestly, we took all those trees out you were talking about. They're gone now. It looks really beautiful out here. And we got the raised bed put together. And I'm gonna fill it up today or tomorrow with the hugelkultur, and I'm gonna try and put some seeds in the ground for the winter, guys. I'm gonna start growing right now. Garlic. I'm gonna put some garlic in, I think. Yeah, let's see. Stargate saying exactly to David. That's right. How about them Raps? That's right. Name was saying, I remember when Justin Bieber had a voice. Now he's mute. Yeah, he did have a voice at one point, but I failed my ventriloquism class. So I couldn't do it with like outside of my head. I'd be like, hey, Justin Bieber, how are you been doing? I'm doing all right. It's okay. I could do it, but it sounded stupid too. It's like in some ways, I just want him to be not talking. Maybe it's more realistic because beavers don't talk. I don't know. It was very early on he talked, but that was scrapped. That's how we know you're an old school Raptor freak right there, Nameless, if you remember when Justin Bieber was talking. Trevor say, Lex, that trophy, the ball is crystal. Is that literally crystal? This is like a real crystal. Oh! This is like very fine crystal. Like, holy crap, man. This is serious, man. It's got some weight. Seriously. It's got some real weight. MK, this is your new trophy. Coming to you, man. Oh my gosh, undefeated season. This is the least we could do. Send him a crystal WNBA trophy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Smooth saying Zion's baby mama was an OnlyFans girl. Yeah. And she was very explicit in her social media about sexual things that they were doing. Talking about how he had food wrappers all in his room, in his house. He didn't clean up ever. He had potato chips and chocolate chip bars and all kinds of stuff all over the place in his place. And he's just like living in a pigsty. She was ratting him out, all kinds of stuff. Like weird sexual things he liked to do. Oh my gosh. What a nightmare for Zion Williamson last year. It was crazy. It's crazy. David saying, what's the new trophy, Trevor? I haven't seen it yet. It's right behind me, David. It's that crystal WNBA trophy. It's going to go to MK. I'm going to mail it today. Fiercely saying VC will be retiring his jersey in multiple arenas, Brooklyn as well, I believe. Oh boy, can't wait to see Lex's reaction. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I have to be at peace with this. There's no reason for me to get angsty about this. In some ways, I disagree with it, but it is what Messiah and them want to do. Maybe, all right, now you don't get a statue. Nah, I don't want you to get a statue now. They're going to do it this way. You don't get a statue. I don't want them to do a statue. If they do a statue, I'll be like, okay, that's overkill. We don't need to give him a statue too. You guys want to give him the retirement of the jersey? Okay, fine. You go ahead and do that. I was looking forward to more 15s down the road in the Raptors jersey, but I guess we're not going to allow that. And in some ways, I'm just going to paint the word Johnson over the word Carter in my mind when I go to Scotiabank Arena. Yeah, I'm going to say they retired Amir Johnson's number. And I'll be like, oh, Amir Johnson, 15 up in the rafters. Maybe you guys could just put the number 15 and not put the name on there. And that would be enough for everybody. And then I could be like, yeah, 15. That's Amir Johnson's number. We retired it in 2024. That's how I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to say, is that Carter that says on there? No, I see the word Johnson on there. That's Amir Johnson's number that got retired up there. That's what I'm going to do. Seriously, that's going to be my rebellion in this. Since I can't control this, it is what it is. Tommy's saying Lex will be hoping there's a speaker fire near the jersey. Laugh out loud. Maybe that would be. Maybe that's the bad timing. Like, can we get those crazy speaker fire people to come again and hook up a speaker right close to Vince's thing? Yeah, I'd be all about that. That's pretty funny, actually, Tom. Yeah, we'll give him a dunk, David. I like that too. Yeah, let's put a speaker fire next to Vince's jersey. I'm all about it. People that don't understand my hate for Vince Carter. Well, were you? How old were you in 2005? How about that? How old were you in 2005? That's what I would say to you guys. How old were you in 2005? All right, Tommy's at 195 now. 195. You're getting closer, Tom. You're getting closer to that 200. Let's see. Monique saying the Raptors have signed Dylan Disu. Okay, he is signed on. This is good. It's an Exhibit 10 contract per a source. The previously reported elsewhere, Quincy Guerriere Exhibit 10 appears to be a post-camp Exhibit 10 for 905 purposes. That's from Blake Murphy. Thank you, Mo, for bringing a reliable source and Blake Murphy in the news. So Dylan Disu's on Exhibit 10. That wasn't totally clear what was going on with all that. And I wonder if Quincy Guerriere is on Exhibit 10 also. So basically these guys are going to be 905ers. And that's great because Disu brings some great shot blocking, and he's a great rebounder also. So hopefully we'll see him do really good things in Mississauga this season. I hope that Montreal's Quincy Guerriere still has a place on the 905 also. G's laughing at Tom. That was really good, honestly. That was really good. Fiercely saying at David, it's right behind Lex, behind the plus the 20, the Damon Stoudemire ball. Looks like a standing mic from here, but it's beautiful. Lex, do your Vanna White and show it again. All right, you want me to really be like Vanna White? Yeah, it's clear, so it's hard to put something behind it, right? There is a little, like, it's not the exact WNBA symbol. It's copyrighted, but it is a woman playing basketball. So yeah, you can tell that. But yeah, that's it. That's the trophy. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. That's right. All right, let's see what else is going on. Mike's saying we are retiring Vince's jersey before the Nets. Yeah, in some ways, I guess that was like part of it. Is a competition. Is it really like that? Now, this means we're going to celebrate Vince twice this season, guys. We'll do it on the Sacramento game, November the 2nd. We'll retire his jersey just so we get it in before the Nets, doing it in January, because we've been peer pressured by the NBA and other players, fans, other teams' fans, to say, oh, well, what's wrong with the losers up in Canada? If the Nets are going to go ahead and retire his jersey, why don't the Toronto Raptors do it ahead of time? Motherfucker, you know why. And stop gaslighting us by saying that we just have to do it. Because in some ways, we should have the choice of whether we have to want to do it. And in some ways, this isn't fair. If we look at players' relationships with teams as like kind of relationships, like things, in some ways, yeah, maybe we are the bitter ex. And we're like, fuck you, you left. And in some ways, what? You want to come back all of a sudden and have a banquet in your honor in our family? Fuck that shit. In some ways, it's like, that's the way I look at it. In some ways, if he came more correct verbally and way he was saying things, maybe a little bit more sorry in some ways, he say he has nothing to apologize for. Fuck you, Vince Carter, is what I say. That's part of the reason why I say fuck you, Vince Carter, is because you haven't mended the fence correctly with fans like me for what you did when you left. You say, I have nothing to apologize, Raptors freak. Well, I feel like you do. And in some ways, you don't want to apologize to Raptors fans for shitting all over our team for years after you left it. Well, you go ahead and be like that. You'll have people like me that do not honor you, even though the franchise is going to honor you on November the 2nd. Now, the second day that they're going to honor Vince is in February, on the 25th anniversary of when he went to Oakland and did his amazing dunk competition. In some ways, that's the most important thing Vince ever did for the Raptors, is an exhibition dunk competition. It was not winning a championship like Kyle Lowry. No, it wasn't. It wasn't sacrificing yourself to help the team get a championship like DeMar DeRozan. No, it wasn't. It's a glorified exhibition. Dunk competition is why he's so beloved. And in some ways, I don't really have respect for that because that's not winning. That's not playoffs. That's not championship. And in some ways, he chose to go get graduated instead of beating Allen Iverson in the Sixers when he had a choice. And in some ways, that's what I'm going to say right there. That's right. Stargate saying the Scotty thing is not even anything controversial enough to have it being talked about like this. We're just creating manufactured drama. 3 names: Dwight Howard, Zion, Jalen Green. Let's move on. Exactly. On the whole scale of scandals with athletes and their relationships, this is like nothing. It's not like he was married to the woman and he cheated on her and had a baby out of wedlock. In some ways, DeMar DeRozan's issues with his children is a little bit more shady and weird than Scotty's situation right now. And in some ways, DeMar didn't do anything wrong either. He really, really didn't. Sure, he hurt Kiara when he had his son. But in some ways, that's his life. And this just happened to happen. And in some ways, I'm going to judge DeMar DeRozan for having a boy with another woman than the mother of his daughters. No, because that's his life. And I am not holier than thou about this shit like some other people are. So, in some ways, the DeMar situation is more ugly and worse than Scotty's. So let's just, put a cap on it. Holier than thou people coming at him for saying, oh, this and this. That's right. Good stuff. Here we go. All right, there's the classic card answers. King Tut. You thought that was King Tut? Mike, you're funny, man. I'm gonna give you a dunk, Mike, for the King Tut comment. That's awesome. he thinks that Chris Ford was King Tut, born in Arizona, grew up in Babylona. King Tut had a condo made of stona. All right, 124. There you go, Mike. You're on 124 now. Excuse me. Jeez. All right. Yeah, he got it. Smooth got it. 200. That's right. Lively chat this morning. I'm appreciating everybody being here. It's nice to see so many different names and so many different people interacting. Let's see. Yeah, alley-oop to Smooth. Yeah, you know what? Let's give him excellence. Not only is he going to get the trivia points, he's going to get excellence for his knowledge. We're going to give him another one because you know what? In some ways, he doesn't have a lot of dunks. You got the Kelly Olynyk 41, Smooth. You're at Kelly Olynyk 41 now. So definitely, yeah, for the knowledge. That's right. Cool Cat saying, holy shit, 3 years living together. Canada common law act applies. I had a girlfriend where I advised her not to let the boyfriend move in. She could be liable to funds. He was being a smart cookie. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, like, I don't know where she lived. Did she live at his house with him this whole time? I don't know. In some ways, I don't know. If she's going to be punitive and be like, you know what? We're broken up. I want some of your money. Now, how does that reflect things, right? Seriously, in some ways, how does that reflect things right there? I mean, seriously, I know Scott's probably been advised by different people around him, whether it's Nick, whether it's his mother, whether it's family members, whether it's friends, about being smart with this. It could very well be there's somebody in the Raptors organization that works with young players that are very young millionaires on how to manage their love life in the right kind of way, and that he got a lot of knowledge and information in that kind of way. So who knows? I mean, I'm not hearing anything from the ex saying that she feels like she's entitled to different things. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, is she going to come around and say, I'm entitled to half of all of his stuff because without me, he isn't who he is? Because that's often the case in divorces and things like that. And if they're actually married, there's a little bit more of ground to make a claim for this kind of stuff. It really is. In some ways, the clipped thing that we just watched recently, the clipped series about the Clippers and Donald Sterling, the situation with him and his wife, in some ways, she was very much a part of building his empire and helping him. And she was right there with him. So in some ways, as a married couple for like 80 years, she's able to make a very good claim that she's entitled to 50% of Donald Sterling's items and things. The reason why she hasn't left him is because he's like, no, if you leave, you're going to take half of it. We're better together, even if we're not really together. So, in some ways you can make the claims of being essential to the person being successful and say, oh, this is 50% mine. But I don't know if that's the case with Scotty's ex right here. I don't know if that's the case right here. Seymour saying Smooth must have owned NBA Live '82. There's no game that is ever called that, Seymour. Back in the day in '82, it was Atari. And Atari at that time, I don't even know if they had a basketball game. They had like Pong. They had Combat with the tanks that went around. There was Asteroids, Space Invaders. But I don't even remember the basketball game. I think like one of the first basketball games that came out was Double Dribble. Double Dribble. You know what I'm talking about, those noises I just did, if you're an old Double Dribble fan. So that's original Nintendo, and that's more like 85. But I don't remember any basketball games before that. There may have been a computer game that was like Dr. J versus Larry Bird, and it was on like an Apple, and it was in green pixels. There may have been something like that. But there was no NBA Live in 1982. That's for damn sure. David's laughing. Smooth saying, I don't know Chris Ford as a player, but I do remember him coaching the Celtics. You know, in some ways, the way that this card is given away is the stash, guys. That is a very distinctive stash. Look at him up close. Look at his face. He's like, oh, he's like running into the wind. He's like, oh, he's like Prefontaine. He's like a runner or something like that. And the mustache is what gives it away. It's kind of a signature mustache Chris Ford had, because he had it as a coach too. And in some ways, Smooth could identify him as a player because he looks exactly how he looked like when he was a coach too. So it's part of it right there. It's that Chris Ford mustache, honestly. That's what it is right there. It's that Chris Ford mustache. Mike saying Smooth was watching the tape delay era. I mean, I loved watching that era too. I mean, that when I was a little kid, that I was watching games around then. Yeah, CBS in the mid 80s. That's right. That's right. Smooth saying keep her in your life, Lex. Soulmates, man. I'm going to try, but in some ways, we're like all or nothing kind of people. And in some ways, I have to make room for somebody new. And she could kind of be a problem if she's kind of like around my life daily still, like in certain ways, like keeping in touch. So it's a very tough decision. In some ways, I do want to keep in touch with Adriana for the rest of my life, but I don't know if that's going to happen. There's no guarantees, Smooth, but I understand what you're saying. I wish it could be like that. Seriously. Cool Cat saying, Lex, we are your extended family. We'll go all through all the challenges and joys in life. I appreciate that, Cool Cat. And I don't want it to be so centric around me, although it's naturally like that because I'm the one on the screen. But you guys also, as much as you're willing to share, if you guys need us to lean on emotionally for anything like that, we're here for you. And I know that some of y'all have brought things that have been heavy at times that you're dealing with, and we've been a support group for each other. And that's very important. So I really do appreciate that, Cool Cat. And I really do feel this way about you guys, that we are extended family. And even if I don't even know you in person or met you in person, I already feel like I do. And it would be so easy to be such close friends in person with a lot of you guys. So I really do feel like this. And I do really appreciate the Raptor Freak family for this kind of aspect. I really do. Tom's saying, hammer that like button, friends. There you go, Tommy. I love it. I love it. Smooth saying, maybe this change will make the love between the two of you evolve into something greater or deeper. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I'm still telling her, it's like, look, if we can figure out how to make this work, I'll make this work. But in some ways, I have to be here and she has to be there. And I do very much value a day-to-day domestic partner that I can see with every single day. In some ways, I don't want to be out here by myself. And I do want somebody to live with me here eventually. So in some ways, that's not possible with her. In some ways, it's partly because of some of the things she has to deal with her disabilities. So it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. Let's see. Cowboy saying, I just shade that like button. There you go, Cowboy. I love that. That's funny. Cowboy saying, or Seymour saying, hit that like button, gang. There you go. I love it. Trevor saying, first round of the WNBA playoff yesterday. Games were very exciting. Yes, I didn't really look at the results, but maybe I should. Maybe I should go over that. But how about this? We'll go over the WNBA awards. Aja Wilson winning her third WNBA finals or WNBA MVP. Dad, I can hear you, just so you know. Winning her third MVP in the WNBA. So that's really impressive. Of course, she should win. And Caitlin Clark also winning Rookie of the Year for the WNBA. And I heard that it's a unanimous vote, which surprised me because in some ways, Angel Reese probably should have gotten some votes tossed towards her. And Caitlin Clark being a unanimous Rookie of the Year for the WNBA is really surprising to me, honestly. Seymour saying, frying up some turkey, bacon, hash browns, and pumpkin spice coffee. Man, this guy's ready for fall. I don't know what your weather's like out there in Alberta already, Seymour, but it's still summer here. Oh my gosh, it's so warm here right now in Ontario. It's fantastic. So you got pumpkin spice coffee. That's making me think that you're getting into the fall time. I love that too. Turkey bacon. Yeah, we got some turkey bacon over here too. Hash brown. Man, you're making me hungry. Making me hungry, man. Mike's saying DeMar will be at that 15 retirement game. Oh yeah, Sacramento. Wow, actually, that is a good point, Mike. Wow, points from Mike. Realizing, yes, Sacramento is going to be the game we're playing. Well, DeMar DeRozan will be there to see Vince Carter get his jersey retired. In some ways, that's special because DeMar in the book talks very glowingly about Vince and his contributions to the team, and in some ways, he understands the perspective that I have. He talks about in his book. And that part of the reason why he wanted to be so loyal to Toronto and the Raptors franchise is because he saw how Vince and Chris Bosh burned us. And he's very cognizant of the history of the ups and downs and the pluses and the negatives of Vince Carter as a Raptor. And that's kind of interesting to me. In some ways, maybe DeMar being there and seeing it for Vince at that game will be like, well, I want to see this happen for me when I retire. And I know he's going to get it for himself too. So in some ways, DeMar, when you come to Toronto for your game against us in Toronto, you're going to see Vince get that. Well, you can get it too, is what I'm going to tell you. And in some ways, I wish you got it before him. I wish you got it before him. Mike, great point. And in fact, I want to give you a dunk for pointing this out and making light of this detail because this is totally true. That's awesome. 127 for Mike on that one. Yeah. Let's see. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings. Monday blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, most informative gang. Whatever you are going through can either make you or break you. It all depends on how things are received and used. Boom goes the dynamite. In some ways, water is like life. It flows, and it's going to go where it's going to go. And in some ways, when you try to contain it, you could get in trouble. So you got to go with the flow of life and not work against it. In some ways, something may not be ideal and maybe not expected. It may be something that you were not wanting to happen, but you got to make the best of it. Like Rodgers buying full stake of the team. And in some ways, you got to go and work with what you got. And I love this words of wisdom from Randolph today. I feel like this is so apropos to a lot of things that are going on in my own personal life. And I'm sure that if you looked at your own life right now, you could see that aspect in your life that may be bugging you a little bit. Well, look at it at another perspective and try and let go of maybe your angst about it. And maybe you're able to game it in your own favor somehow because you are able to tell yourself the right way to perceive it. That's beautiful, Randolph. Really top-notch words of wisdom. Let's go see what Leo's saying this morning. He's saying, this is really interesting. Leo's saying, right is right, even if no one is doing it. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. See, this is the crazy thing about society and people and humanity is over time, morality changes. In some ways, people are all upset about trans people and LGBTQ because they go by old books from a long, long time ago that tell us wrong. But we evolve as a society. We evolve as culture. We evolve as people. And in some ways, holding on to ideals and things that people thought like hundreds of years ago today is just not right or smart. Whether it's some of the constitutional laws in the U.S. that are absolutely asinine. Like one of the big ones that people talk about right now is why the hell do we vote on Tuesdays in the United States? Like, why can't we vote on the weekend? Why can't we make it more helpful for people? The only reason why we vote on the Tuesday is so the farmers can come and vote. Well, is this really a big issue in the United States? There's a huge amount of farmers are in trouble. They can't vote on Sunday? Because in some ways we should make it where you vote on Saturday or Sunday, and they could change all that. There's a lot of archaic laws that just don't fit today's society. And in some ways they don't change them if they fit something that helps them in a certain side effect, like making people vote on days that they're supposed to be at work, and it's inconvenient. So, that's what I'm saying. In some ways, things progress and change. And in some ways, maybe something that seemed like it was wrong before is not wrong anymore. And the only reason why you think it's wrong is because of old school thinking, is what I'm saying. Leo, that's a great one. And I agree. If something's wrong and everybody's doing it, it's still wrong. Well, things amend and change, though. That's the thing you got to keep in mind also. Seymour saying, Chicago Bulls Patrick Williams suffers a camp injury, will miss the start of the season. I hate hearing that, But in some ways, it's good for the Raptors because the Bulls are a team that we could get above in the Eastern Conference standings. And, well, that's not going to help them. And DeMar DeRozan being gone from that team ain't going to help them either. Trust you. Yeah. Mike saying Larry was reelected the chairman of the NBA's board of governors, aka owners. He's got a real legacy, and changing that right away doesn't make sense, in my opinion. They can't completely change Larry's work. Well, the whole thing is that he's on a time clock. Time's running out. And it's going to be probably 2 summers from now, Mike, that Larry will leave the team in 2026 in the summer. And hopefully Masai's not leaving with him. So we're going to have to see how this goes down. Larry's going to be in charge, yeah, for another year and maybe another 2. But honestly, he doesn't have the voting rights anymore in the Raptors structure of ownership that he used to be when Bell and Rogers were at half the same amount. He was the tie-breaking vote as the middle owner in the smaller percentage. But now that Rogers has absorbed Bell's percentage of the vote, they have majority stake, and Ed Rogers is the person who determines decisions for the Raptors and all of MLSE now, the Leafs also. So it's not Bell versus Rogers as far as even stakes. Rogers just took the whole pie that Bell had, and Larry's not the tiebreaker anymore. So that's the problem right there. That's the problem. That's the difference. Right now, it's changed like that. In some ways, Larry has no power over being the final decision with the Raptors at this point. Ed Rogers does. And that sucks. Carlos said, I just hope Vince somehow acknowledges what he did and speaks on it before the ceremony. I do too. In some ways, that could go a very long way. Vince, you need to stop being so prideful and get over your ego. And you need to admit your mistakes. And if you feel like you didn't make any mistakes, well, I won't have any respect for you still. But I am a forgiving person. And if you can come clean and you can kind of do some, even if they're half-hearted, even if they're not totally put in full effort into it, if you can do some damage control with the Raptors fans who are so diehard and loyal like me, that absolutely think you're one of the worst people that was on our team at any point, like did the most damage to our team out of all the people that played for our team. Seriously, you're the one who did the most damage to our team. And in some ways, if you can't understand that, if you're so arrogant and egocentric that you cannot understand the effect that you had on our team, well, I don't know what to say to you. In some ways, it's like, that's just how it is. But I wish you'd do something like this. I wish you would do something like Carlos saying. I really do. In some ways, you've had opportunities and you still haven't totally done it correctly. Come correct, and the love will be better for you. Trust me, Vince, because there's a lot of us that have not forgotten. That's right. Infamous saying, salute freaks. The Raptors' hand was forced when the Nets decided to do it. The media, especially the U.S. media, would use it as an opportunity to slight the Raptors. Yeah, there were a lot of dumb people saying stuff like, you guys are cowards. Why you won't do this? Y'all, you are gaslighting motherfuckers, and you know exactly why. In some ways, if you had an abusive ex that was abusive towards you, would you want to celebrate them 20 years later, coming back around all of a sudden? Yeah, you were in a relationship with them, and they beat you up and left you in the street, bloody and in the mess. And then like they laughed at you and made fun of you for years after that on broadcast television on the national TV. And now all of a sudden you want us to kiss his ass and honor him? No, there's a lot of real true Raptors fans out there that stand with me on this. And in some ways, this will be very interesting to see how our nation reacts to the news today, because I don't think they're going to get exactly what they think they're going to get. And there may be that at his own jersey retirement, there are boo birds coming out like crazy. In fact, I might want to get a ticket just to come down there and voice my opinions on this. And they can go ahead and say we're classless or why we're cowards for not doing what we did for Vince. That's fine. You guys go ahead and say that. I don't care what y'all think. We know our history with him. And if we feel like we want the right to boo him, we will. We will. And I encourage people that are going to go to that game and they want to see him retire, but they want to boo him also. I encourage y'all, go right ahead. Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. That's what I'm going to say right there. Roger Raymond said, good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lex, thanks for making this live stream so enjoyable and being so caring and authentic. Raptor Freaks, you are all real ones. There you go, Roger. I love that, man. Roger Raymond is such an awesome name. It makes me think of the show The Blacklist. Is that where you got your name from? Because I love that show. It's so good. I normally do not like newer shows, especially hour-long shows. But James Spader is so good in that show. And that show is just fantastic. I love The Blacklist. Is that where you got your name from? I'm really wondering. Or is that really actually your name? It's very cool. And I appreciate the nice words, Roger. And having fun on the channel with you guys every morning is something I look forward to always. And that's why it's not a grind to me sometimes. Mike saying, I texted you the DeMar video. It's about people telling him to shoot threes, so he didn't, and talking about analytics. Okay, see, this is kind of like, I understand. This is from the thing we were talking about yesterday. Well, look, the thing is, DeMar did go and shoot threes. He did master the threes. So if anybody told him not to, he said, go shoot threes, and he said, no, I don't want to. He did eventually give up, and he did go and learn how to shoot threes. And he does shoot threes. We know he shoots threes. He still does to this day. But there was an early part of his career where he was not, but he changed. So in some ways, I don't get the point. Maybe he did say something like, I didn't want to do it, but he did do it. That's the whole thing in here. He did do it. He did get proficient at 3-point shooting. And he did get proficient at certain things, like doing certain things with his left, because the Raptors asked him to in his early career. So he's never been somebody that would tell a coach, no, I don't want to do that. That's the thing. You got to understand. He's a very loyal and very, very smart player that is trying to do what the team needs. And if the team orders up something, he's going to try and do it in the offseason and come back with it. And that's what he did the whole time he was on the Raptors, the whole 9 years. Every single year, he came back each year with something new that he had worked on that whole summer. And part of it was either listening to what the team wanted him to do, and part of it was also listening to the criticisms from the fans on social media was shaping what he was trying to do to prove to be different in the way to prove these people wrong is what he was trying to do. Yeah. Mike saying, old man in the 3, DeMar DeRozan's interview, 27-minute mark. Okay, Mike, you won't let this go. I'll check it out afterwards. But yeah, you got to let this go, man. In some ways, with semantics, once again, you're looking at it a totally different way. I don't see this as an argument. I see this as, yes, they asked DeMar to shoot threes. He was reluctant, but he did eventually come through and learn how to shoot the threes. And that's all that matters, right? Cowboys laughing at the sheriff, and Smooth saying Jalen Green's partner is 39 and he's 23. Well, let's do that whole half your age plus 7 thing. All right, let's say she's 38. Let's even give her less than 1 year of hers. And we'll say half her age would be 16 plus 7. So she's right at it. She's very close. 16 plus 7 is 23. But wait, she would have been 22 at the time. So she was cradle robbing, according to the half your age plus 7 rule. Carla's saying Jalen Green's girl found the fountain of youth. No, she's found different men. I'm telling you, she's had babies with different NBA players. Seriously, she's on that. That's her occupation right there. Seymour saying a lot of NBA pockets to keep her looking young. Listen, I mean, whatever. In some ways, I don't know what she looks like. Listen, would somebody say that I look 49? Some people just age different in some ways. It's just how it is. Mike's saying Jalen Green told Scotty about them older freaks. I don't think that's what this is. I really don't think that's what this is. In some ways, I would say, maturity comes at different levels for different people. Scotty may have hyper matured himself since he came in the NBA because he understood this is his career and it's very important and he didn't want to fuck it up. And in some ways, maybe people hearing him being like so childlike and being so goofy, well, he's like, no, I'm not like that. I'm a mature man. I want to get involved in business. I want to be doing things like a man would in my life. And maybe in some ways, maybe he outgrew his ex in some ways. Maybe she's still acting a little bit like the days when they're in high school. And maybe he's on a whole other level of maturity. And that the new woman reflects his level of maturity at this time. Some people say, you say maturity, it's just like means you're old. No, I mean like acting like more adult and acting more adult in your life every day. And Scotty has been maturing very quickly since he got drafted by the Raptors. He is not the same young man that got his name called in that summer. He is very much hyper-speeded his maturity in different ways in different parts of his life. And I can tell from the outside. You can see it. You can see his twitches are way different than the first summer when we hung out with him on Twitch. They're different now. If he goes on there, it's a lot different. Yeah, Smooth saying that Jalen Green situation is effed, man. I feel for her son, man. I really do. I mean, it is what it is. In some ways, these kids, in some ways, are lost in the shuffle. Hopefully, they have good upbringings and they're taken care of. They're healthy and they're happy and they have good lives. That's what I wish for these children. That's all. That's it. Seymour saying, man, men, them love them seasoned vets. I don't even know. Like, I'm telling you, the woman that Scotty got pregnant does not seem like she's trying to collect bodies. The body count. Like, I have no idea what her body count is. It could be very low, y'all. Seriously, it could be very, very low. She may not be that promiscuous. It could be that that's part of the reason why Scotty likes her, is because she does seem like she's kind of wholesome and she's not out there just trying to find different men in different places. I don't think this is how this came about, guys. In some ways, it'd be very telling to know where Scotty met the girl from Guelph, because it would probably tell you exactly how their relationship is. If it is what I speculated, that he met her because he brought his dogs out to the country to be boarded while he's on the road, and that's how he met her. That's a very kind of like innocent way to cross paths with somebody and have access to them. It's not like she was coming to the hotel and sitting in the lobby waiting for the NBA players after games. It's not like she was trying to sit at courtside and get his attention like a lot of women do. I don't know if that's true. Maybe she did do that stuff. But to me, it seems like, from all intents and purposes, looking at that from the outside, that the way that they connected was very genuine, is what I'm saying, right here. Yeah. David's saying this age thing is so ridiculous. Honestly, this is absolutely bonkers. Well, it just shows, in some ways, I hate to say it, an immaturity by young people to really judge this woman for being 32. They have no idea what old is, trust me. And youngsters that are thinking that this is crazy and this age gap is too crazy, it's not actually that crazy. And if you really care about Scotty, well, think about this. She's older. And usually gold diggers look for really rich old white men that are going to die and they can get in there on it. Anna Nicole Smith. So that's usually the action of a gold digger, is like they're looking for older and to get the money that way. And that's not how this is. In some ways, it could be very possible that Scotty outlives this woman. And in some ways, that could, that says a lot to like trying to get somebody's fortune or their money. And it could very well be there's no plans for them to actually be officially together in certain ways. She could be surrogating him a baby also, and they could be co-parenting separately. It could very well be that Scotty's still single and that he's just decided to have a baby with this woman, and that's all they're going to do. We don't know. That's the thing. In some ways, it could very well be a real relationship, and he may marry her. I don't know. I just don't fucking know. But I'm open to whatever Scott's going to do, because it's his life and it's his business. That's what I'm going to say right there. Seymour saying, if she fine, she fine. I can't knock it. I can see more a dunk just for this right here. Just, you know what? We need to hear all the opinions right here. And Seymour, the man who talks about eye candy, he's going to say what he's going to say. That's right. He's going to say what he's saying. Yeah. So how many more days until game time? 13. 13. That's right. Seymour saying, does the arena guy speak French during the game? Le Chris Boucher. You mean Herbie? Yeah. Yeah. He's always says Ven, what is it? Vince. How do they say 25 in French again? I forget. I used to know how to count in French because I studied French. It's like vent sank. Le vent sank. Chris Boucher, Montreal. When they announce Chris, he always does French when they announce Chris. So I don't know if Herbie's going to Montreal to call this game. They should. Maybe they'll have their own home announcer at the Bell Center. But it'd be cool if Herbie takes the trip and he's there for the game on the 6th, calling the game in his signature voice for the Raptors over the PA. We'll have to see. Yeah, Smith saying Jalen Green's baby mother has a known reputation for having babies with NFL and NBA guys. That's right. She's collected a few. She's had a few babies already with other athletes, and Jalen Green's was like in the middle of them after other ones. And that's what we're talking about here. Mike saying, Smooth, she won't need as much child support. Yeah, who knows? In some ways, that's stuff I don't even want to worry about or talk about. In some ways, yes, the father should be taking care of the babies financially, for sure. But also at the same time, supporting the woman and how much they support the woman, especially women that take child support and do not support the children with it, but support their own lifestyle and what they want to do. That's the worst. That's the worst right there. Smooth saying Gilbert Arenas is one of the dads and another NFL guy. See? So Gilbert Arenas, who's more age appropriate with this 39-year-old woman, has had a baby with her already. So Jalen Green's had a baby with the baby mama of Gilbert Arenas right there. I was trying to remember who the name was. That's who it is. Who's right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, Carlos saying Oshie sharing a baby mama with Arenas. Yeah, that's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah, Gilbert. Yeah. Carlos saying, by the way, has Jalen Green been extended yet? I don't know. I have not heard that. It seems that's an interesting question, Carlo, because a lot of the players around that Scotty's rookie class have been getting their extensions now. Evan Mobley got one. Cade's gotten one. But Jalen Green has not gotten one yet. And that's indicative of a couple things right there. I think the Rockets are shaky on a future with him going forward. And maybe that's part of it right there. Smooth saying Jalen Green was probably jerking to her picks, and the day came when he could actually bang it. He could not resist. Okay, this is a little too explicit, Smooth. This is a little too explicit right here. Monique saying W stream, W vibes. Keep at it always, Lex. Go Raptors for life. Thank you, Monique. I love you so much. And I'm going to give you dunks for doing the cutoffs for us. I'm going to give Mo a 10-pointer right now because Mo's just a steadfast bedrock, a bench, a cornerstone of our channel and our Raptor Freak family. So awesome. Mo, you're at 175 now. 175 dunks from Monique, the super fan Lawrence. Cowboys saying later, Lex and Mo and Raptor Freaks. Everyone have a great day. Appreciate that. Yeah, we got to finish up, guys. I'm at 2 hours right now. So we got to get it done, get it over and done with. That's right. There's Tommy with Mo on blast. I love it. Mike saying Green isn't completely untouchable at the moment. He has one half season of great ball when Sengun was out. In some ways, I don't like his game. In some ways, I know he's best friends with Scott, and I should respect him, but I don't. I feel like he is a very flashy player. Once again, he's one of those players that sizzle and not steak. In some ways, he doesn't add up to winning. In some ways, I would not want him on the Raptors. I don't want Jalen Green on our team ever, because he's one of those kind of players. In some ways, he's on that sliding scale towards Javon Freeman Liberty. This is what I'm going to say right there. He's a better one, obviously. But in some ways, some of my issues that I have with Javon Freeman Liberty are the same I would have with Jalen Green. Let's just put it that way. Mike saying Pong Live 82. That's right. Pong was awesome. Pong Live 82. Stargate saying Atari had a Jordan game. Okay, that makes sense. Although that doesn't totally make sense, Stargate. They may have had one later because Jordan didn't show up until like 85, 83, 84, 84. And Atari really started coming out in the 70s, 79. And the heyday of Atari was from 80 to 85. And then Nintendo took over. And I don't know if Jordan had a game. I think at that time, the people that would have had games would be Magic and Larry and Dr. J if there was a game on Atari. Because I don't think Jordan was a big phenomenon yet at that point, when Atari was really, really big in the early 80s. Fiercely saying Atari at Pac-Man, Asteroids, Donkey Kong, Labyrinth, my favorite, Frogger. You're a Frogger fan too? Yeah, I love Frogger. Hopping across the road, getting on the logs. Don't land on the mouth of the crocodile. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I love it. Fiercely showing love to the Raptor Freak family. Let's go, Cowboy. That's right. Infamous saying, wait, Lex, your lady is not in the picture anymore? Sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, it sucks. In some ways, it just, it's great that like we found this love and we share it, but it's not for long. It's not for the future because our paths are going in different directions. And in some ways, it's just got to be this way. She's got a lot of things going on in her life. She's in school. Her grandmother, she has to help take care of. She lives with her father, which makes it really difficult to see her in certain ways when I want to. And in some ways, that's part of the problem too. I've gotten to the point where I see Adriana 2 days a month. And that's just not enough to have a really important relationship. We started seeing each other all the time in the beginning. And as the years have gone on, we've seen less and less and less and less of each other. It used to be we'd see each other for like 2 or 3 days a week. Then it went down to like 1 day a week. And then it went down to twice, 2 days or 3 days every 2 weeks. And now it's down to like 1 or 2 days a month. So it's just not feasible. It's just not physically present with each other. We can talk to each other on the phone, long distance, and do that stuff, but that's not something I value at my age. I'm going to be 50 next year. I do really want somebody as a domestic partner in my day-to-day life. And she can't do that. She can't give that for me. And that's the only thing holding us up. Seriously, everything else is amazing. Kareem saying, Adriana is awesome. Very genuine when I met her at the Jerk. Yeah, a real jerk. When we had that Raptor Freak family, she still loves, and she saw what I said yesterday, and she was worried about me, so she called me yesterday, even though we're not supposed to be talking right now. But yeah, there's nothing wrong. Like, we don't hate each other, and this breakup has been absolutely healthy, and that's part of what's hard about it. It's because I wish it could be another way, but it won't. It won't ever be the way where we can be together, and it sucks. It sucks. I get so upset and mad about it. I feel like it's an injustice, but I have to accept it. Like DeMar accepts the championship with the Raptors, even though he should have been that guy. It's just how it is. And I wish her all the best. I do hope she finds a guy that will fit her life better. But it's not me. And it's just how it is. It's just how it is. It sucks. It sucks. And I'm glad you guys got to meet her. And who knows? Maybe she'll still come to Raptor Freak get togethers because she is a true fan and she's not going to change her opinion on the Raptors. She wasn't a Raptor fan before she met me, but she is now very much a huge Raptors fan because of me. And that's, she could still be coming to stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I won't tell her she can't because I love her and I would want to see her. Cowboy saying, alley up to you, Papa Duke's making noise. Yeah, he's out in the yard working right outside the window. Yeah, I don't know what he's cutting, but I could hear it like it was coming through. It's because I have the window open. Okay, she's here. Adriana is actually here and talking to each other. Here we go. She's saying there will always be love and respect between each other. Yeah, I love you so much. We just want each other to be happy. Thanks, Kareem. You are great too. Alexi will always be special to me. Damn. Damn. We grow up as children and we read fairy tales, we read stories, we see movies, we see happy endings. And unfortunately, the real world isn't necessarily that. And in some ways, that's part of the problem here is that I want to write a happy ending with her, but this book can't be written this way. And we have to realize that movies and stories are not real life and that there aren't always fairy tale endings. And that's something I have to accept right now. That's why I have to accept this. Damn. Damn. That's why I'm so happy for everybody who does get the right person and it gets worked out. In some ways, I'm not selfish and like I want everybody to be miserable like me. No, I get so happy when I hear stories about like Kareem and his wife being together since they were very young and still being together and having a family and all that. I wish all the best things for everybody else. In some ways, I could get really negative and be like, fuck everybody. I can't have it myself. Fuck everybody. No, I'm not like that. So I feel such a beauty for everybody who's able to get the things that I'm not in my life, even though it's tough. It's tough. It's very tough because society really does dictate that there's something wrong with you when you're not able to have a relationship with someone. And that sucks. In some ways, I want to have more awareness about single people being all right and not being an abnormality and not being a problem in society where it's like, well, you're single. There must be something wrong with him or something like that. Fuck that shit. Some people just aren't blessed enough to find the right person in the right situation for why their life goes a certain way. And let's not get it twisted. This whole entire society and world is built around couples and family building. And in some ways, it's real easy to feel depressed and sad if you're not on the same timeline doing the same things as other people. But I want to say as a person on this side that it is okay to be who you are at whatever stage in your life and whatever place you are, whether you have children, whether you're married or whatever. It doesn't matter. You are your own life and you write your own story and you go for what you want. And if you can get it, blessings. And I love you. And I hope you do get what you want. That's right. Love to Adriana. That's right. I really loved seeing the love and the in some ways I didn't want to get emotional like this, be about this on the stream. But once again, I'm being real. I got to be real, Lex. In some ways, I could cry for Eric Montross today a little bit too. I'll do that in remembrance of him also. That's right. Milbester saying, good morning, Lex. How's everything? Happy first day of fall. Chilly morning, but U.S. and Canada are used to this. How's the temperature in Toronto? Can't wait for the NBA season and Yankees in the playoffs. All right, Milbester, good to see you, Nick's Freak. Good to see you in here. The weather is still summer-like here. We're not getting a first day of fall that's like chilly or anything, but there are some leaves changing. There's some maple trees. They're showing some orange right now, which is very pretty and beautiful right now. But yeah, we're still in summer, and apparently we're going to get 2 more weeks of it, Milbester, at least 2 more weeks into October because of this high-pressure situation that's going on up here. So yeah, good to see you, Milbester, and thanks for changing up. All right, let's see. Smooth saying, in all seriousness, I don't understand the gender confusion stuff. 1 week identifying as a man, the next week as a woman. It will take time for me to accept and work through that. Yeah, in some ways, I mean, I can get where you feel as an older person and stuff like that. But also at the same time, this is something that's been in the history of existence of time. There's been people that are transgender people that have been one sex but identify with the other sex more throughout the history of time. This has been in Greek civilization. This has been in medieval civilizations. This has been tradition in Native American societies. That there's shaman that were, a little bit gender bit twisting, and it's actually not anything really new. It's just that the people that are like this are wanting to be more equalized and accepted. And that's the whole thing about it. It's not that it's totally new. It's something that's always been there on the underlying in this whole time. Now, some of it is the surgery is possible to change things. Of course, there were transgender surgeries all throughout history, some of them very dangerous and botched and stuff like that. But the medical science is caught up to the point where people can get it in a more safe way. Now, I don't get it either. And in some ways, I'm very comfortable as a man and masculinity in my body. But some people don't feel right in their own bodies in certain ways, and that's part of it. And once again, we're about freedom. We're about people to be able to be who they are. And even if we don't understand it exactly, Smooth, because I'm with you, I don't understand it totally myself. We've got to allow people to try and have the freedom to be who they want to be, even if it doesn't totally make sense to us. Because in some ways, once again, this is none of our business, and these are their own individuals' lives. And if we just hate a group for being a group, well, that's just as bad as racism towards Black people or any other group anywhere else. So we got to remember that. Milbester's saying, when is Raptors Media Day, Lex? Celtics Media Day is tomorrow, September 24th. Knicks Media Day, September 30th. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to show up next week. They're already in Toronto. A lot of the Raptors are already here, but it's probably very much Media Day is going to be like on the 1st of October, right around there. And we're going to start training camp immediately after that. So you guys are a little bit ahead, but I will say this. The Raptors have been training with each other for over a month already. And they've actually started in like August in Malaga, Spain, and during the Olympics. And then they've been doing training camp in Miami a little bit already. And a lot of the signs are they're already doing stuff here at OVO Center here in Toronto too. Smith saying, my point is that my heart is open and I wish that others would be tolerant and try to be accepting. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the thing right there is that like we're all human beings. And in some ways, yeah, there's despicable people, but in humanity, we share. And in some ways, we can look at differences and divide each other on that, but that's what the powers that be want. They want y'all to have a boogeyman, whether it's immigrants coming to our country, whether it's trans people. You know what that used to be? It used to be Jewish people in Nazi Germany. It used to be Black people 100 years ago. So it's like we don't want to make others like other groups for hating. And in some ways, there's an action on one political side that's very much utilizing this tool through fear and making others. It is very much a playbook from Nazi Germany. And in some ways, y'all can go ahead and hate trans people just because you're so worried about this and this. But in reality, is the trans person really actually affecting your life in any kind of way? No, probably not. In some ways, oh, they're making it complicated for me to explain things to my child. Well, this is a great learning opportunity. And if you have a healthy relationship with your children, you can explain things to them in a way so that they can understand it for themselves. And now, if you have your own morality and you want to teach your children hate, that's your choice. But in some ways, I wouldn't do that because you'd probably be doing more harm to the kid than you think. Trust me. Yeah, there you go. I love your statement, Smooth. And honestly, you're saying both sides because in some ways I get it. It's weird, and in some ways it's something like I wouldn't do anything like this myself. But that doesn't mean we can say, okay, nobody should be able to do this. We need to allow people to have the rights and the freedoms. That's what freedom truly is. The freedom to be trans is a real freedom that should be protected. Just like the freedom of speech, the freedom to vote, the freedom to try and pursue happiness in your life, because it's all tied up together. It really is right there. Trevor's saying in 2 weeks, we'll be traveling to Portugal for 1 week. Trevor's going to Portugal now. Holy crap. That's cool, man. That's awesome. Hearts to Adriana. Yeah, she's here with us. And I really do love her so much. You can hear me saying that right now. And that is so true. Mike saying, we will see what happens. Development and winning will keep Masai here. He's got like 2 years to prove he's good at what he does. Well, that's why Scotty and the barbecue guys need to kick some ass to really show the genius of Ujiri off so that he's ensconced once again and not able to leave the Raptors because he's absolutely essential to our success, and we are successful. That's what it is right there. Smooth saying there's a lot of Twitter stuff on VC News. Yeah, it's official. We're going to retire his jersey November the 2nd. So, yeah, that's going to be in just over a month or so. So, yeah, we'll see it. Milbester saying, well, Alex, at least the NBA season's back. It's going to be crazy October in New York with MLB playoffs and Yankees back in the postseason. Okay, you mentioned the Yankees twice. That's too many times. They didn't make it last year. Fall season plus Knicks back. Wish us luck. No, I'm not going to wish y'all luck. Why would I wish the Knicks luck? I'll wish OG Anunoby luck with his career and Precious. But the rest of y'all, whatever. If you went to Villanova, I'm not wishing you any luck if you play for the Knicks. That's right. If you play for the Sixers, I'll wish you some luck, though. Kareem saying, Trevor, where are you going? I'll be in Lisbon right before New Year's. Wow, you guys are world travelers. I love to hear the Raptor Freaks are going to Portugal. Look out, Portugal. That's right. Mike saying, question from JJ Regg's co-host asked a certain question about coaches and trainers, made it seem different. Okay, Mike, you won't let this go. And once again, this is the action I don't really like, is because this is not really a subject we need to go over so extensively. And I am 15 minutes over my time. Milbester's here to all right, let's see how much I'm going to read Milbester here. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. Okay, I'll read this one. This offseason went by so fast. It's just crazy. We're 2 weeks away from Bridges' debut in NBA preseason. Just crazy. I'm just hyped this season, Lex. I hope the Raptors make the playoffs too. East wide open. Thank you, Milbester. And yes, I hope we make the playoffs also. Trevor saying age is just a number, and numbers are there to count your pockets. Trevor J with it's an interesting kind of like a word of wisdom, but I love it. All right, I'm gonna give Trevor a dunk. You're at one. What is 3 plus that? 15. 115. How about that? 115 for Trevor. Let's see. Okay, I'll read this one. Lex, what you thought of WNBA expansion to Portland revealed for 16th team was a bad idea. Should have been Denver. I don't know why the WNBA doesn't bring back the Houston Comets. Portland was a WNBA awful idea. Well, it's true. They were in Portland before and they lost their team before, but they probably are looking at the demographics and the popularity and they think that it'll be successful this time. But yeah, they had a team in Portland before, but they had a team in Houston before also. And that team went away also. So, yeah, Milbester, they're going to do it in the order they're going to do it. And there's still one more team to be named. I think it's going to be Philadelphia, though. And I don't think it'll be Houston still. So, yeah, in some ways, it's the market. We got to just say that the state of Texas is not the most progressive state in the United States. And in some ways, them not supporting a Houston Comets team that basically won almost every single WNBA championship in the first 5 years is telling that they lost that team. It was the most successful WNBA franchise before the Las Vegas Aces. And the fact that they lost their championship team that was led by Cynthia Cooper way back in the day just tells you how bad a market Houston is, Milbester. And as much as we'd love to see the Comets return, well, Houston's not a very good market for WNBA is what was proven. Because consider that they were the most successful team and they still couldn't keep it. Yeah, Vent sank. That's right. I got it finally. Yes. Because I can count in French. I remember how to do that. Kareem saying the woman Scotty got pregnant, hang on, is innocent, but she knows what she was doing in a respectful way. She's 32. No way she wants to hold a child by a 23-year-old unless he had money. What if the roles were reversed? You can't say that for sure, Kareem. Honestly, this happens with everyday people all the time too. Like there can be a guy who's in his early 20s that falls in love with a woman in his 30s and they have a baby and it has nothing to do with money. I mean, in some ways, what you're saying is a little cynical. But I think that this happens all the time. That in some ways, age gaps and judgment about that is kind of silly. I mean, I get it. It looks bad when a 40-year-old guy is dating a 20-year-old woman. It does in some ways. But in some ways, it's none of our business too. In some ways, it's like if that woman wants to do that and that man wants to do that and he can get that to happen, well, in some ways, it's not a big deal. In some ways, it's just people poking their business and making judgments. So stuff like that. Mike saying in television had the graphics and better sports games. Yeah, that came a little bit after Atari in television. Yeah, I remember that one. I had a ColecoVision myself. The ColecoVision was around that time too. And I played like Pitfall and Popeye and Donkey Kong and Smurf. There was a Smurf video game that I used to play on the ColecoVision where you walk through the Smurf village and jump the mushrooms and Gargamel's after you. Somebody Cowboy said, I love you guys. I'm sorry, man. It's all good, guys. It's all good, guys. Fiercely saying, fam, let's stop commenting so that Lex and Adriana can take a break today. It's very difficult. We're doing what we can. In some ways, it's only been like a week since I've seen her. So this is very fresh. In some ways, I went to her house and hung out with her. You guys saw me at her house last weekend doing streams there. Well, that was kind of our farewell, like hanging out and taking off. And it sucks. It sucks. It's an adjustment. And in some ways, we told each other we would not be in contact with each other till January. Well, you see how good that's going. She's in my stream, and we're talking to each other on the phone yesterday. It's really hard, but it's different than going from like every morning and every evening before I go to bed talking to her for the last 5 years like that to none of that. That's the hole right there. That's the hole right there. Trevor's saying, Lex, take that love you guys have for each other to God and believe in your heart. It will work out in the end. You just have to have faith. I want to, but in some ways, you've got to understand also that her and I's beliefs are not totally putting our faith in God in this kind of way because just the different things in our life. I wish that this could happen, but realistically, there's no future, Trevor. And I wish there was, but I maybe things could change and something could happen at some point. But in some ways, she will never live out here with me. She's it very much loves the city. She loves the city in all kinds of ways. It's too quiet out here. It's too out in the middle of nowhere for her. And it's a lot of that. And I have to be here because I'm going to be growing crops and I'm going to have to be here day to day taking care of the property. And that's going to be a really big part of my life coming up. So it's just not lining up. Trevor saying, I'll be in Lisbon, Kareem. That's awesome. You guys going to be in Lisbon. That's really cool. Mike saying the Rockets had arena issues for a long time. Maybe it wasn't part of that. The Rockets fought for their arena for a while. Yeah, it could be a lot of different things. The Rockets have had weird ownership. But still, the market did not support the Comets after their cycle of championships, and they weren't as good. And the team went bye-bye. And that's just how it goes. All right, that's the last comment right there. Let me just finish up on the tabs, make sure I didn't miss anything. We are celebrating, or not celebrating. We are talking about Eric Montross on his birthday today. He would have been 53 today. And it's sad that he passed away last December from cancer. So, Eric Montross, thank you for your service playing for our team. You're a beloved Raptor in some ways, even though not a lot of people remember you or think about you. You were a very, very good Raptor in some ways as far as your character, and you never spoke ill about us, like your Tar Heel buddy Vince in some ways. But yeah, Eric Montross, we're remembering you today on our stream today. So happy birthday, even though you're passed away. All right, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about. I mean, I see a whole bunch of stuff that y'all just filled up in the chat. Let's see what else. Is that something interesting? Okay, yeah, you're talking about what she said, fiercely. I see that. Okay, and there's Monique talking about Disu, and there's gonna be cuts still, is what Blake Murphy's saying. Disu getting on an exhibit 10, but there's not enough room. All right, guys, thanks for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you feel like joining the channel, membership has its privileges. You get really cool little emotes that Tom has crafted for the channel, and also access to our Facebook private group where we are posting all kinds of news items about the Raptors as they happen during the day. I will be sending this trophy to Ottawa later today to MK for his WNBA Fantasy Championship. And tomorrow we'll do trivia, 9:30 a.m. Y'all be ready for that. I'll have to write it up this afternoon, and I'll have it ready for you. David will be the judge of who gets the answers. Thanks for watching me today. Let's go Raptors. Only 13 more days until we get to do a game preview. I'm so excited. I'm locked in. And I'm getting more and more into game mode. I know Mo Bester's ready as a Knicks freak for his Knicks to get ready. He's very anxious too. So, yeah, we're anxious too in Raptors Nation to see Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, Manuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl, and the rest of the Raptors come back and play some basketball on TV. We're ready for that. That's right. That's right. That's right. What are you saying? Why on? Why on? What does that mean, Mo? What do you say? Why still on? Why still on? We got sidetracked. Got to talk on a lot of different stuff, and it's just how it is. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Raptors.